In today's show, we will be discussing a few different topics. First, we will discuss the fracturing or destruction of the Black Brown Coalition as Latinos finally give Black Texans their jigga wake up call and refuse to vote for ghetto hood rat politician Jasmine Crockett and instead choose James Tallarico. Following that, we will discuss updates from the war in Iran. Guys, I know you don't like talking about war. I know you don't want war, but it's something that's happening in our community, in our world. And whatever happens in our world, unfortunately, it impacts us. Now, we don't believe you live in your own world, but if a bomb hits your ass, you're going to be awakened from your own world, and you're going to realize that you're living in the real world. Also, I will give some points about why I personally could never be a liberal. And I'll highlight some of the contradictory reasoning of some liberals. But we are going to have some fun today because we are going to discuss the absolute the absolutely abysmal downfall of two big time podcasts. One of those being The Breakfast Club, as they moved to Netflix and are now begging viewers to come watch them over on Netflix, and the downfall of Corey Holcomb. Did you guys know about that? Corey Holcomb is just like down bad right now because ever since he got into it with Anton Daniels, and then he was exposed for putting hands and feet on a woman outside of a Los Angeles club, he's just been reeling. He's spiraling downhill, and it's not looking good. The cope is real with Corey Holcomb. So we got 4 topics we're going to discuss. Everybody's in here. I see y'all in the building. Before I even get started, please feel free to bless the stream with voluntary contributions. We don't have no collection plate up in here. You know what I'm saying? This is church, but we ain't got no collection plate. So we depend on contributions from wonderful viewers like yourself. Today we're asking for $5 contributions from anyone who's in a position to do so. You will see that we have a gold pin to the top of the screen, $5 contributions or more. And we also, for people who do not have the super chat feature enabled on their phone or device, we also have links pinned to the top of the chat for PayPal and Cash App. I'm on my Umar Johnson. Hit the Cash App, family. Hit the Cash App. But I appreciate you. Thank you in advance. And if you leave a super chat contribution with a comment, it will be read online live. Also, I do allow for people to come up and give their opinion on the topics. If you got an opinion, jump up here, be concise. You might even start a little discussion, which the people in here don't mind at all. So think about your comments or contribution you might want to add and jump up here and, bless it. Shout out to my brother Black Starliner, Game Boy, already contributing to the stream. So we are already at 1 contribution out of 5. Let's do it. Okay, let's get right into this situation. The political landscape in Texas is shifting as the Black-Brown coalition is in flames right now as growing Latino turnout and their ever-shifting alignment are eclipsing traditional Black voting leverage. In key battlegrounds, Latino voters are now asserting dominance, effectively neutralizing the woke influence that the liberal Democrat Party has had on Black voters. They are taking control over the state of Texas and future political power within the state. This is not just happening in Texas. This has already happened in California. So, I'm in Cali, so I'm just watching it unfold. I already know where this is going. For a long time, African-American people in Texas thought that they were going to be immune to to the ever-growing Latino population, which highlights the ever-growing Latino power in voting. We do live in a democracy. Democracy basically we live in a republic with Democrat style representation or voting, right? So what democracy basically means is majority rules. If you can get that majority to go vote, get them to show up to the polls, they're going to control what's going on. Latinos have the majority over blacks, African Americans, immigrants, whatever. And on top of that, you have black people who every day seem to be going more woke and going against their traditional values, their traditional Christian, even Muslim values. And so there's causing a fracture within our own group. We also have the influence of grifters like Tariq Nasheed, who are furthering or perpetuating that fracture by encouraging blacks to delineate or separate from black immigrants. So we're really down bad, because while other groups come together and coalesce for voting power, black people are following the self-destructive narrative of one, delineation, and two, woke ideology that at the end of the day doesn't benefit them at all. Everyone is seeing what's going on in Texas. There are very robust conversations taking place online in spaces like X, formerly known as Twitter. And the crazy thing about black people is we all see what the problem is. But many of us are so stubborn in our way of thinking that we refuse to actually change or adjust to make up for or to correct this situation that is hurting us as a group. Before I get started with the commentary, please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. Give me a 1 in the comments if you hear and see me great. Give me a 2 if you don't. From where I'm sitting, it's looking good. Let me turn up this volume. Oh no, we're good. We're Gucci. We are Gucci. And I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I got more technology, guys, so I'm playing the videos from a different source. We're not going straight from online. I'm downloading stuff into my media player and playing up here, and that should help with the lag that we were experiencing. I want this to be very relaxing and conversational. So if you have an opinion to drop, feel free to hop up here and let me know. You guys are at work. I'm at home. I'm chilling. You working. As far as I'm concerned, anything for me when I'm at work, whatever makes the day go by quicker, I'm here for it. Conversations make the day go by quicker. Whether you are actually involved in the conversation or not, it's going to help get you through your day. Shout out to all my folks who are at work. If you're at work right now, shout out to my truck drivers especially, because I know y'all always tapped in. If you are at work right now, leave me a comment in the comments. Let me know where you're at. If you feel comfortable, let me know what you do. And I'll shout you out, man. I feel you on that grind, getting that money, feeding your family. Okay, let's get straight to it. Jamil Hill with her cute ass. I can't stand her politics, but she is gorgeous to me. Now let's listen to her talk about racism as she with her blonde hair. Okay, so this is the mindset that lost Jasmine Crockett the election in Texas. Black women cannot have a conversation without insults. They've done it to black men for years. They've got us to the point where a lot of us don't even want to deal with them. And now they're trying to carry it into the broader conversation of politics with other groups. This woman, this heifer, just said Latino communities are soft targets for misinformation. Girl, every community is a soft target for misinformation. And black folks, oh, you can't hear her audio? Okay. And Black, thank you for letting me know. I thought I was sharing it. Hold on. So you can't hear audio. Can't hear. Okay. Let me see. I wonder why we can't. Don't worry. We're gonna get it corrected. But oh, okay. Let's see. I let y'all know I was using a different system. All right, we got this. We got this under control, y'all. There ain't no thing. Okay, I'm gonna put myself here, and I'm gonna put her there, and that should correct our issue with the media player. And what I'll do is I'll show the comments on screen. Guys, I'm learning this stuff. You got to learn to stay with it. All right, let me know.
The Cubans, as we know, that are in Miami, the I will vote for Donald Trump's, they are very soft targets for misinformation. A lot of Latino and Hispanic communities are, to be frank. And especially.
Okay, so she starts off with the typical Black woman, Black female disrespect. They've been doing it to Black men for years. They've used it to gain dominance and control over the Black community, right? Because most Black men seem to not even have a fucking pulse, and they just accept disrespect, especially when the disrespect is protected and defended by the local police departments of cities all over America, obviously. But Black women have become used to being able to speak in a disrespectful manner to others because they were doing it to Black men. And so now they're bringing it into the larger, broader conversation, right? Right? They're trying to bring it into the political arena. And what they're realizing is, if you are going to be in a coalition with these people, you're going to have to watch your damn language, because you can't be disrespecting these people and expecting these people to join you in a coalition of voters, right? And that's what Jemele Hill is doing immediately. She's doing the same exact thing that Jasmine Crockett was doing, because these females do not learn. She said, Latino voters are a soft target for misinformation. Okay, what are Black voters? What are Black voters? Black people bite on every piece of misinformation. Dude, Iran made a statement saying that they killed 500 American soldiers. This was an absolute lie. There were 6 soldiers killed. Black folks is on the internet all over. Yeah, they didn't kill 600. And not only do we spread misinformation, we exaggerate misinformation. So how could Jemele Hill have said that in a better way? She could have just said, look, man, minority groups sometimes tend to be a soft target for misinformation, Black and brown included. You can't point at them like they're the problem, because you've been here longer than them in America voting. And before they had any voting power, you were still voting yourself up the damn river and not getting anything in return. So you're going to now try to put the inability of the Black voter to get something in return for their vote, or to actually, use or exercise their voting power on the Latino and their susceptibility to misinformation, that's, man, I hate to just pin this on the sisters, but that's what black women do best. The blame freaking game. Oh, you know why the kid's bad? Because the daddy ain't around, but the mama there every freaking day. But let's blame somebody else. Continuing not to have any accountability. She won't even bring up the fact that Jasmine Crockett disrespected these people, the fact that Jasmine Crockett chose to act like a hood rat instead of being a professional. She's not going to bring up any of that because in Jemele Hill's mind, and I know Jemele Hill knows what's going on because she used to be a sports commentator. You pretty much have to be very like factual when you talk about sports, especially stats, right? I know she knows what she's doing, but it's all about just keeping this narrative going of the black woman is infallible, and if she doesn't succeed, it clearly is either racism or some underhanded dealings that another group is having to sabotage her. She is freaking gorgeous. I ain't gonna lie to her. She's fine as hell. She is beautiful. I'm sorry. I'm with you, LTZ. I'm not even trying to lust. That is a beautiful, I ain't gonna call her a queen because she ghetto as hell and she ain't got no sense, but she is a beautiful woman with her blonde highlights talking about racism.
If you're from Cuba, Cubans hear socialism, communism, and as long as the Republicans use those words to describe democratic policies, they will vote Republican every time, even if they're voting for themselves to be put out of America. They will do it every time.
Well, it's not even, so Jemele, it's not even Republicans using those words. It's black folks and Democrats using those words. You got people like Zoran Mamdani saying Democrat socialism, Bernie Sanders, democratic socialism. But everything is the blame game for the Republican Party. Democrats are talking about some damn Democrat socialism. And then they say, well, the Republicans, as long as they keep saying socialism and communism, the Latinos going to keep voting for them. You guys are using that language. We're calling you liberal. We're calling you radical leftist. And sometimes we'll call you a socialist. But they literally have socialism in their talking points, the word. And then wonder why people who suffered at the hands of socialism don't want to vote for them. And what you got to understand about Latinos is they're like freaking Sunshine Anderson. Heard it all before, but your lies ain't working now. Look who's hurting now. I'm going to start playing. That's their fucking theme song because that's how the Latinos are approaching the Democrats. They're like, dude, we heard this bullshit before. Could you imagine if you're a Venezuelan immigrant who listened to Hugo Chavez talk all this trash about how he was going to have free this and free that, and the people will own this and own that, and they went from being one of the most prosperous countries in the Western Hemisphere to being the absolute poorest country, damn near the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and having to stand in food lines? A country that has a jungle with all types of fruit and everything growing in the jungle, massive farms, huge cocaine industry, bringing billions into the country, but they're standing in food lines to get a damn can of beans. They being forced to eat dog food. It was so bad that they called it the Maduro diet because when the people in Venezuela were starving, Maduro said, yeah, I put them on a diet. Think about that. Think about that. You think those people are going to believe you when they've heard the same stuff said by the person who oppressed them and caused them to flee their country? You think that they're going to think that it's going to be different with you. Then if you black, you think they're going to look at your communities and say, man, yeah, look, they're saying this, they're preaching this message, and look at all the great stuff that happened in their community from voting this way. No. These black Democrats approach Latinos the same way the white liberal Democrats approach black people. Like they're too dumb to use reason, logic, and rational thinking. And they're wrong about that. They're wrong about that. Many of these people have never lived in a place where there was a large community of Latinos. They can think just like you. Come to California, go to the doctor, you got a 35-year-old Latino guy, man or woman, that's your doctor, or at the ER or whatever. They can think. And they've heard it all before. And they're not willing to risk being put in a situation like that they were put in their home country here. And we're going to get into that more.
And so that's something that it requires a level of sophistication to understand. And one of the main platforms for the disinformation is Univision. And many of the Spanish language newspapers, many of them are owned by conservative, right-leaning people. And so they constantly are a group that is filtered full of misinformation.
Latino vote in Texas. That's really what propelled James Tallarico over Jasmine Crockett. And Jasmine Crockett is said to likely, this will likely be the end of her political career as we know it. She had to not run in the primary for her House seat. So I imagine you'll see her leftist nonsense all over the news going forward, including her election denialism here. But that Latino vote you see in Texas is going to be a key.
Jasmine Crockett can only blame herself for not winning.
Now, notice the stark contrast between the analysis of a black male who may or may not be fruity and Jamel Hill. The black man is like, man, this is on Jasmine. She did this to herself. Accountability. This is why a lot of black women don't like the black man. Because even though we might have flaws, at the end of the day, as a man, you just have to accept that it's on you. And you can't really blame nobody else. And they don't like that. I was up in here ghetto as hell, acting like a hood rat, acting like one of Bebe's kids. But that can't be the reason why I didn't get what I wanted. It has to be some secret entity, some secret force fighting against me that's hating on me. They will cry real tears and tell you something that makes no sense, that they actually believe. And you'll just be sitting there like, are you serious right now? Yes, they are serious. Yes, very, very serious. They are serious.
When you play the race card over and over and over, it may work for some time. It worked in the Obama era. It worked under Biden. It's not going to work anymore because America in general and black people are tired of the race card. She could have won if she had other voting blocks voting for her. Let's say white people.
James Tallarico winning over Jasmine Crockett is a good and valid reason why we should stop saying black and brown.
Okay, so this guy goes into another situation. That other guy's like, look, if Jasmine Crockett would have won over some voters from other voting demographics, she would have been okay. But because Jasmine decided to take the ghetto route, she got cooked. That's really all there is to it. Because Jasmine Crockett decided to be ghetto over everything, which unfortunately is the position many of our sisters are taking these days. She lost. And instead of just saying, you know what, maybe my approach was wrong, Jasmine's going to continue to entertain this idea that somebody was plotting on her or working against her. And it's just pathetic and sad to see her going out like that. You know, I don't like her politics. I wouldn't vote for her personally. But Jasmine had to realize, like, yo, if there are black people who won't even vote for me, maybe something about my politics is the issue here. Nope. Why wouldn't anybody want to vote for me? This is racism. That's not how you win in politics. You never hear whites or Hispanic candidates talking about racism. Why are black people still talking about something that other groups have abandoned long ago? You got Indians. You got Indian people, one of the smallest groups in America. Dude, they're on stage running for president, gaining supporters, getting votes. They don't have the numerical advantage. But they get up there and they talk about the things that people care about. They talk about kitchen table issues. Jasmine Crockett, she can't really talk about affordability because Texas is one of the more affordable states in the country. But there's many things she could have connected with people on. She could have connected with Hispanics on the ICE and the immigration. Hey, it's not happening in Texas, right? But it could come here. Or if you travel, it could happen to you. Or it could happen to one of your family members. That's how you connect with people. But I'm telling y'all, I'm not trying to beat up on black women. But even women in here know who grew up with black women as well as the men. You know how they are, how many of them are. Violently hostile and resistant to change or any suggestion of changing the way they choose to view and approach the world. And that's what's going on with Jasmine Crockett. She can't get up there and fight nobody, but if Jasmine Crockett could fight James Tallarico without getting in trouble, she'll do it. She'll attack that man because just cannot handle rejection. Just cannot handle rejection. Now, this guy right here is saying this whole situation proves that the black and brown coalition doesn't exist. Yeah, and water is wet, my brother.
Of the race card. She could have won if she had other voting blocks voting for her.
I see you in the back, RF. People.
James Tallarico winning over Jasmine Crockett is a good and valid reason why we should stop saying black and brown. We not brothers and sisters, okay? They're not our true allies. Black people, we don't have any true allies, okay? So all that black and brown unity and all that stuff, stop that, bro. Because they gonna do what they do.
That's a lie. So this is my thing. I'm not saying that a person of another race is your brother or your sister or nothing like that. What I'm saying is you can have allies, but no one can align with you while you are operating in dysfunction. No functional group is going to align with a group that's in constant dysfunction. You got Democrats who can't even tell you what a woman is. You got Democrats who sitting up championing and advocating for parents to lose their parental rights to governments. And the government could tell you whether or not your kid can get a sex change. It's a mess like that. When you come with those type of policies, a lot of traditional Hispanics are not going to agree with you. When you preach a message of emasculation of the men in your community, they're not going to agree with you. When you talk to Hispanics, many of whom are Catholic, and you're talking about, yeah, we need more abortions and all this stuff, they're not going to side with you. Yes, Latinos did abandon black voters, but in my opinion, Latinos abandoned woke policies, woke anti-male, radical feminist leftist policies. Understand that. James Tallarico does say some crazy stuff like transgender kids are made in God's image and stuff like that, but James Tallarico ain't attacking the nuclear family. James Tallarico ain't trying to emasculate the man in your community and tell you that the woman needs to kick the man out and she can do it better than he can. James Tallarico's not saying anything like that. Also, James Tallarico's not saying we need Latinos here because black folks is done picking cotton, reducing them to the level of nothing more than a farm worker. James Tallarico's not saying that. It's what Jasmine Crockett was saying that hurt her the most. The Bible says that it's not what goes in a man's mouth that defiles him. It's what comes out. It's not what goes in a man's mouth that defiles him. It's what comes out. And that's what Jasmine Crockett did. She defiled herself by being reckless. The Bible also says that life and death, the power of life and death is held in the tongue. And she used her tongue recklessly and she killed her damn campaign. And now she's looking for someone else to blame. She is the poster child of the Democrat Party. do disrespectful shit, and then blame your failure on someone else. Another thing is, Latinos are not like black voters. They are not hopelessly loyal to the Democrat Party. You can't do to them what Democrats have been doing to black voters for decades. You can't disrespect them to their face and expect them to still come support you.
They gonna do what they do, bro. And this is why we should sit down, be quiet, and stop thinking that we should be kumbaya. Okay? Because they gonna show they behind every time. But yet y'all always getting up on here talking about, nah, we gotta come together as minority groups and you know, we gotta stand strong. We black folks, we the only ones that be standing on business.
And this comment is exactly what
Black folks ain't standing on no damn business. Black folks are doing everything but standing on business. Black folks ain't stood on business since the late 90s, when we start letting all the weird stuff come into our community and not saying nothing about it. Black folks ain't stood on business since your big mama let your gay cousin become the choir director at church, dressed like damn near like a woman, and she sat her big ass right in that front row and didn't say nothing but hum along and sing along with the songs. Black folks ain't stood on business. We haven't stood on our values at all. And now what we're trying to convince other groups to do, we're trying to convince them to give up their values. And because they have a value system, the weird stuff can be a conversation in their community that doesn't tear at the fabric of who they are. Black folks ain't got no values, so the weird shit has become who we are. That's all we got on the woke side. I don't see conservative blacks and conservative Latinos splitting or going at it. And Trump was getting their ass up out of here in record numbers. But at the end of the day, the conservative Latino had to say, look, man, they're illegal. They're illegal, man. Ain't nothing I can really do about that. And if you don't believe me, I got a clip coming up that's going to show you that that's exactly what they said. A lot of the Latinos supported Trump getting those people out of here, and I'm going to prove it to you.
we need to go back in the house and just not worry. If Ku Klux Karen and her family get dragged from here to Timbuktu by ICE, I really don't give an F. If your family is attacked, I don't care. If the entire government decides to take over Texas and beat the brakes off you and your family for even trying to protest, I don't care. Because how will you have the balls to bring up Kamala after we know for a fact that James is unqualified? Yes, he worked in the House. Guess what? That's state legislature. Guess where Jasmine works? Federal. So
that doesn't mean, see, and this is the next shaming tactic. Oh, you unqualified. The black woman is more qualified. Bro, James Tallarico was a state representative. It ain't that much different between the state and the federal. It really isn't. What's his name? My congressman, Robert Garcia, he started off as mayor of Long Beach. He then went to the state. No, he started off as mayor of Long Beach and went from mayor of Long Beach to a federal position. Understand that. He went from mayor of Long Beach to a federal position. Usually people will go like mayor, state, legislature, and then they'll go to the federal. He went from mayor of Long Beach, which anybody could probably be a mayor of a town, boom, to federal. But that's what they do. It's just more shaming. Not realizing that the more they talk, the more they do what she's doing, the more Latinos just say, yeah, we can't work with these people. They calling us stupid. They telling us we can't think for ourselves. They telling us that we got to accept disrespect and still vote for the person because of the person's qualifications. You know what? I want to ask you a question. Name one piece of legislation authored by Jasmine Crockett that has been signed into law since she's been in the federal legislature. None. Zero. That's like saying, hey, he plays for the Raiders and you play in college, but bro don't get on the field at all. If you look at sports, there are many college players who come into the sport and they're immediately getting more playing time than some people who are veterans or people who have been in the league for years. Understand that. Understand that. What's old buddy name? Zubac. I don't know who he played for now, but Zubac, he's a center. Bro, there were many people who came in who were centers and started over, bro, and bro had already been in the league 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. He's coming into his own now, but he was in the league watching rookies get playing time over him. Sean Bradley. So what these people are talking about doesn't mean anything. Oh, she just has the resume, but that's what black women doing. Black women have abandoned the idea of respect and interpersonal relationships. They've abandoned that. And they've chose to double down on resume and what's on the pen and paper. And they like, that should be enough to force you to, they want to force people. They want to strong arm people. They want to strong arm people to give them access. Look, I got all these degrees. You have to give it to me. No, nothing's guaranteed.
You continue with your third grade education and your Meemaw's opinions about
third grade education, more insults, Meemaw's opinions. Come on, girl.
Black folk and how qualified some people are versus others based on the color of their skin. You're just stupid. You're dumb. I can see why you probably from Texas because y'all literally have some of the worst education in the country. But if it's not enough, you're going to say he ran a better campaign? Of what? Mediocrity? We literally have seen how he copy and pasted his entire campaign slogans, all his policies from other Democratic candidates in other states. Y'all just dumb. But that's exactly why it's not our job to save you. It's not our job to protest. It's not our job to do anything but let y'all slaughter each other while we smile and eat our popcorn.
I know a lot of people ain't gonna.
I don't even know what the hell that lady was talking about, but she sounded like she was talking to black people. I don't see Latinos slaughtering each other. I see Latinos working hard, opening businesses, passing down generational wealth. Even in California, back in the day when I was younger, you would see Latino gang members walking around with their big pants and their Cortez, and they'd be gang banging. They have their tattoos and shit. Now, in California, walk around any city, you won't even see Latino gang members that much. You won't. The neighborhoods that are Latino that were traditionally really bad, where they used to have like a lot of cholos and stuff, man, those neighborhoods are nice now. When Mexicans move into a neighborhood that was predominantly black, when it's predominantly blacks, it's very violent and it's crime ridden. When the Latinos move in, the neighborhood becomes peaceful. I've told y'all my story many times. What is she talking about? But that's what happens. You didn't get your way, so you want to start dogging people and insulting people. But that's okay, because we'll quarter them in. Just come on this side, y'all. They crazy. They wild. They can't control their emotions. Let's see what this brother has to say.
I don't like what I'm about to say.
All right, if I see you in the back.
But I don't care. After seeing that more than 25% of Latinos voted for James Tallarico over Jasmine Crockett, really put an itch in my stomach. They only voted for James Tallarico because he was a white Christian. Not that he was a better candidate, because he was a white Christian.
And Jasmine Crockett professes to be a Christian. She's sitting up in Christian churches saying we know how to church and all this stuff. Like these these black people kill me with the narrative. But I want to fast forward to this lady because this is just a bunch of black folks saying the same stuff. But I think we're doing better with the lag situation. I'm not going to lie. But this Hispanic lady, she's going to tell you exactly what the situation is. I don't care what these black folks say. I want to hear from the Latinos why they didn't vote for Jasmine Crockett.
What do you mean? Jasmine not going to Congress for Texas? Oh, Crockett, a girl can only dream. Listen, Jasmine, what was that one quote that you said? Let me think. Oh, yeah, we done picking cotton. You can't pay us enough to go find a plantation. Yeah, you remember that. I remember that. How could I forget? See, 6.5 million Hispanic voters in Texas, which is like the majority of the electoral vote here in the state. And you mean to tell me that you think that we're still picking cotton? Hell no, girl. Hell no. That's why you lost. You're fucking racist. Something real quick. If you would have pitched that in 2002, 2001, you probably could have gotten like a good drift. However, that was people in the past. Those kids that I grew up with that were chasing a field every summer, every spring with their parents, moving school to school because they had to go pick fruit with their parents, are now grown up. And guess what? Do you think that they're going to go back to picking fields when they have a citizenship? No. As a matter of fact, they're not even looking to vote for blue people with blue policies that put their parents in fields. Fuck no. Some of them are real estate investors, business owners, they're passing down generational wealth, and you think that they're picking cotton. You out of your goddamn mind. I'm gonna remind you real quick, the majority of the Latino voters for Trump here in Texas live in the southern border. You know what happened in the southern border? No. Why? Because neither you nor Kamala have the balls to go down there. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Along the Texas border, poverty levels are sky high as it is. When you import a bunch of riffraff from third world countries and they end up in those southern border towns, they strain the resources for those people. Those people can't even survive. And then you're bringing in all this fucking riffraff with a CBP1 app Ticketmaster to the United States and you leave them there. That's why our governor had to ship all those fucking people out. And then y'all complain, oh, you were shipping all. Yeah, because you guys brought them here. You blue people brought them here.
Dude, she's straight calling other Hispanics riffraff. She's like, you guys brought out that riffraff over here. And when they come here, they compete with legal Hispanics who live in poor areas and do unskilled labor jobs. She's keeping it a buck. She ain't being racist. She's looking at somebody who's like, yo, I have to feed my family. My family has to eat. I'm not about to sit up and virtue signal this about some other group and give them access to my little honey pot so I gotta share with them. These are jobs our kids can be getting, and she's not done. She's not done at all. What I want to say? There was something I wanted, but anyway, so she's not done at all. But do you got, so there's 40% Hispanics in Texas. There is 40% Hispanic, 40% white, non-Hispanic white. It's 13% black and 5% Asian. Texas looks very much like America. I mean, whites have the overwhelming majority, but Hispanics are coming in a close second. Then you have blacks way at the bottom at 13%. Politics 101. Do not insult and disrespect the majority of the voter base. And that's exactly what she did.
Here to Texas, and the southern towns were suffering. Not only that, but there was violence across the border in Tamaulipas, in Reynosa, all those cartels fighting to bring all those people over here. Why? Because they were profiting billions of dollars. And your ass still thinks that we're picking cotton? Take that. No Congress for Jasmine. As a matter of fact, why don't you go run for Missouri? What did you do in Missouri that they don't want you to run for them? Oh, I know. Exactly. Because people in Missouri see right through your bullshit, and so do we in Texas. Keeping Texas red.
Okay, so there you go. We see straight through your bullshit. And let me tell you something. When these people start deciding whether or not they're going to vote Democrat or Republican, believe me when I tell you, those Latinos like her, they're going to be very convincing when they start talking to their Latino brothers and sisters about who to vote for, whether they should vote red or blue. Because right now, it's looking to me like Latinos are going to end up falling like white folks, 50-50. And then everybody else is going to have to decide what happens. You should hope that's the case. Because if they do end up being like that nationally, black people will still have some leverage. But when you already know black people are going to vote 90% Democrat, not even thinking about the policies, it's kind of scary. It's kind of annoying, and it's also scary. But that lady is 100% right. And the sad thing is black people are too stubborn, too blind, and too gullible to understand what she's saying and just be honest. Right? They should literally just be honest, but we can't. We can't. And then she said something that was very interesting. She said maybe in 2002, what you did, we would have we would have let that fly. But not in 2026. What does that point to? That points to that the Latino voter is evolving. They ain't just a bunch of immigrants no more, thankful to be here and scared and afraid to get put out of the United States. They're evolving. You know who's not evolving? The black voter. The black voter is not evolving. Guys, the link is in the comments if you want to come up and join the conversation. RF left. I took too long for him, but I was just trying to get the meat of the conversation out. But I'm going to go to Jakari, man, I'm tell him, facts, can't vote majority Democrat, 100%. It's better to have conversations because I can be persuaded. Like, okay, I have a friend, Damian Gordon. He went to high school with me. He is a Democrat. He voted for some things that I don't like. He supports some things that I don't like. But when he talks about he's running for a council seat in my own city, and I might have him up on my channel. But when we talk about crime and homelessness and how the police don't come when you call them and stuff, bro is on the same page with me. So I told him I'm gonna donate to your campaign and I'm gonna support you as much as I can. Because even though he's a Democrat, we have something in common that we want to see. There is some vision of Long Beach that we have in common that we want to see. We don't want bums laying in front of Starbucks when we walk in. We don't want bums shitting on the sidewalk. So when we walk our dog, you know, you could tell the difference between dog shit and human shit. Human shit is just offensive, okay? But he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat. Now, tell me, am I so gone? Oh, you don't care. You just all about Republicans. I'm going to vote for my friend who's a Democrat. Well, I can't vote for him because I don't live in his district. But I'm going to go help him pick up trash in his district and help him knock on some doors and talk to people about why they need to replace the damn current incumbent Democrat with him. I don't have a problem with going across the aisle to support somebody. I really like John Fetterman these days. And I really can't stand Rand Paul. But I'm going off of the issues. Dame supported Prop 50, which was the one that let California redistrict to take away the seats from the Republicans. I don't like that. But at the same time, if you're going to get these bums up out of here, I do like that. I got to take what I can get. I know where I live. I live in a Democrat stronghold. I have to take what I can get. I'm also going to vote for James Talarico for governor. And I'm not going to say anything about what he said he's going to do. But let me just tell you, he's like me. He ain't playing politics on certain shit. He ain't going to give them the farm. He ain't going to give Republicans the farm. But he understands that nothing is permanent. And this is what, and Jakari is saying it right there. If you vote issues, not the party, you'll vote for both sides. That's the point. You just got to talk to the people to see what they're talking about. Jasmine Crockett don't give you no policies. Jasmine Crockett was running on, I'm going to fight Trump. That's it. That's it. I need to get in there and fight Trump. Girl, don't nobody give a damn about that for real. Most of these people will vote Republican in the national election and vote Democrat in the local elections. Hispanics. Because a lot of them own businesses and they don't want to pay higher taxes. Only black folks consistently vote to raise taxes. Because a lot of us don't pay no taxes. Because a lot of us don't make enough money to pay taxes. And a lot of us don't own shit. So we don't understand the idea of having to pay for taxes. LTZ, no tangibles, no vote. That's a good thing too. But guess what? I also think the choose the couch stuff can be harmful to black folks. Because I know there's a bunch of Texas people who listen to people like Tariq Nasheed and said, I'm choosing the couch. I ain't voting for that. Well, guess what? You choose the couch. That really is not a power. You choose the couch. That just allows other people to make decisions on what's going to happen with your life, and you don't get to be a part of that decision-making process. Okay, guys, where should we go now? I'm going to let you guys decide. Do we go to the Breakfast Club, destroying their show by taking this Netflix deal? Or do we go to updates on the war in Iran? I'll give you guys 30 seconds to decide. Do we go to Breakfast Club, destroying they platform by taking this Netflix deal, or do we go to the updates about what's going on in Iran? This is the culture. Iran updates. Everybody like Iran. We could talk about the gas prices. All right, let's all right, we'll get both sides of Iran updates. We'll start. I'm gonna start just giving you guys both angles. Might as well. Because people seem to think, oh, you're biased. You only one side. Let's just get both sides. It ain't no issue. So we'll see what the local news is saying. Let's see. You know what I noticed? CNN is way behind in their reports from Iran. And it almost seems like they're like waiting for bad shit to happen. They're like, if nothing bad's happening, we ain't going to report on it. I wonder why that is. Because their last video on Iran was 2 days ago. This is a day-to-day thing. I wonder why that is, guys. Why are they waiting 2 days to give you an update? And the same thing with MSNBC. They're doing the same thing. They're not reporting day-to-day. They haven't made an update on the Iran war in 2 days. And that's an everyday thing. So we really don't have any. I'm going to show you guys my screen right here. And y'all tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Man, this camera is hitting. All right. So we on MS Now. Right here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but if you look in the top. I don't want to go home. If you look in the top right-hand corner, right here, well, in the middle, 2 days ago, they released a video on Tucker Carlson. 6 days ago, Iran. Oh, here we go. Bottleneck in the Strait of Hormuz. That was yesterday. That ain't really nothing. We want to talk about, well, you know what? This could talk about the gas prices. Let's see what they say about this.
Joining us.
I want to hear about the United States getting beat up. But we could talk about this. But they're still way behind on updates.
Joining us, MS Now international reporter Inez de la Catera in Jerusalem, Dubai-based reporter Inzamam Rashid in Oman on the Strait of Hormuz, MS Now senior national security reporter David Rode, and MS Now reporter Ariel Reshef. All right, so David, let's start with the overview here and what we just heard from officials today from Caroline Leavitt, but also Pete Hegseth and General Dan Kane earlier. Do you have a better sense that we know what success is, that we've defined what success is for ourselves?
That point you just made about the fourth point. And then
now listen what they say. Well, we need to define what success is for ourselves. So they're already telling you it doesn't matter what Trump does. They're going to spin it to make it look like he's not doing a good job. They tell you to your face, we're not going to give you honesty. We're going to look at something, no matter if it's good, we're going to flip it to make it bad. We're going to spin it to make it bad. And if it's bad, we're going to keep throwing it at you. This is why it's very hard for me to watch this stuff, because I already know that these people have a malicious intent.
Sweeping statements that this mission will guarantee that Iran can never have a nuclear bomb again. As you said, it raises this regime change issue. And point three about the terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region. I just don't know how you achieve that without long-term control. And look, if they want to say weaken their proxies, if they want to, they are weakening and taking out a lot of their ballistic missiles. They are weakening their Navy, but it's this sort of sweeping claim that they're going to end this forever that gets into the key contradiction here. And just a last thing on Hegseth. And look, he served in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've not served in the military, and I respect him for that. I covered Afghanistan. And
I haven't served in the military. Hegseth has. I covered Afghanistan. Bro fought in Afghanistan. But I'm going to tell him what he can't do and what's true and what's false. I love this.
Briefly, Iraq. It's just, he's talking about air superiority, where the U.S. has planes overhead and they can sort of, bomb anyone they want. The U.S. had total air superiority for years, for 20 years in Afghanistan and for years in Iraq. And that didn't stop insurgents from hiding.
Yeah, and also there wasn't a revolutionary guard in Afghanistan or Iraq. I mean, the Iranian IRGC is extremely rooted in the society. They're well armed. They're trained. That's a powerful military.
It is, and it could turn into an insurgency. And so that's just, again, this long term. It's concerning that he's sort of so enamored of the sort of power of these American, modern weaponry. And it is extraordinary, but it doesn't mean you're going to just win the war and the other side is just going to capitulate.
Give me your reporting about the negotiations, because the administration keeps saying that the reason they had to do this is because the Iranians were lying to them in negotiations and being stubborn about their nuclear program.
So it started with an interview.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm being objective when I'm looking at this, but it just sounds like they hate America. It's like you fight somebody and you whoop their ass and they be like, yo, but they did get a hit in on you. It's like listening to biased boxing announcers or commentators, right? They know the guy's getting whooped, but they'll keep kind of like throwing this certain language out there to make people feel like, oh, he's coming back. Oh, look, this is what they're doing. They hate America. Well, they're getting paid to hate America, which is crazy. But I want to bring up something else real quick. So they keep comparing this thing to Afghanistan, and you cannot compare Iraq to Iran to Afghanistan. You just can't do it. Why? Because we had no Obama as commander-in-chief during the situation in Afghanistan, and Obama put things in place. Obama put rules in place that undermine our military's ability to fight effectively in Iraq, in Afghanistan. Understand that. He put things in place that prevented our military from fighting effectively in Afghanistan. I'm going to bring up this little thing. During his presidency, Barack Obama implemented several policies that critics argued had a negative impact on U.S. service members, soldiers, primarily stemming from defense spending cuts and issues with the Department of Veteran Affairs. Key policies: budget sequestration and military readiness, funding shortfalls. Obama cut the budget. He cut the budget for the war in Iraq. Reduced readiness. Critics contend these measures caused a significant reduction in military readiness, resulting in fewer deployable troops, grounded aircraft, and ships that could not sail. Manpower and compensation trims. They pulled soldiers out. They took money out of the they reallocated funds, right? The strategic drawdown. He was pulling troops out of Afghanistan at the height of the conflict. Undercutting commanders. Some military leaders said, such as General Stanley McChrystal and General James Mattis, disagreed with the administration's strategies, including the scope of the Afghanistan surge and the decision to fully withdraw from Iraq, suggesting that the White House at times undercut field commanders and their recommendations. So you had a bum who never fought in no war nowhere telling military commanders what they could and could not do out there in the field. They out there getting shot at. They're out there getting shot at. And you got a dude sitting comfortably in Washington telling him, well, yeah, you got to be gentle. You can't be going out there at night and this, that, and the third. Yeah, you fought to lose. At that point, you fought to lose. So they keep bringing this stuff up, talking about, oh, yeah, well, if you see what happened in Afghanistan, Trump ain't like that. Trump is like, I'm going to let the military do what they do. Hold on. And there was a thing I had sent you, Jakari, with the dude with the three, where he lost 3 of his limbs. Bro only got like 1 working limb. Or he might have lost all his limbs. Talking about the bad policies that Obama implemented that made it impossible to win. Obama was the guy saying that he was going to investigate the U.S. soldiers. Basically doing the same thing to the U.S. soldiers what the Democrats did to police officers in American cities. Make them afraid to actually fight. Hold on. So when you look at this situation, I really want to get this video. Oh man. I really want to get this video with this guy with the 3 legs because he broke it down perfectly. Hold on. I know there's videos about this. Man, you put in Obama, bro. It's like they scrub anything bad off of this thing. But I just want you guys to hear this. Yeah, I can't. I can't find it. But anyway, so Obama basically like screwed over American or U.S. soldiers. So I just hate to hear them talk about that. Oh, you got to look at the Afghanistan, and that's going to tell you. No. This is totally different from that.
View that Steve Witkoff gave on Fox News on Monday night, and he said on live TV that when they had their first meeting with the Iranians bragged about all the enriched uranium that they had, and that they had so much enriched uranium that they could make 10 nuclear bombs. And it struck me, so I went back to sources who know about what happened in the negotiations, and they just said flat out that never happened. The Iranians never happened. And then we actually had earlier today on MS Now the deputy foreign minister of Iran, and he confirmed what I was also told was that the Iranians have this enriched uranium, and they were willing to hand it over as part of the deal. That's what they said to Witkoff. So it's just, again, back to what led them to carry out these strikes now. Why was there such a rush? And then what's the objective? It's all still unclear.
All right, so Inzamam, let's talk about the broadening of this war. We've been talking to you about the UAE quite a bit.
Oh, so the Iranians said, no, we didn't. We don't got that uranium. But every morning, chanting death to America. They go into the talks. They're saying this. Well, we don't have uranium, but we're not going to guarantee you that we're not going to continue trying to enrich uranium and build a nuclear weapon. That's the issue. All they have to do is say, we will not try to build a nuclear weapon. We'll stop enriching uranium to 90% and it's good. I'm going to believe a damn snake So it can turn around and bite me. Have you ever heard of the story of the what was it? Was it the wolf and the was it the scorpion? It was the scorpion and the what? What was the name of that? What is the name of that story? The scorpion and the frog. The scorpion and the frog. The frog comes to the riverbank. There's a scorpion at the riverbank. The scorpion says, "Can you please help me cross the river?" The frog says, "Man, I ain't help you cross the river, because if I put you on my back and start swimming, you're going to stab me." Right? The scorpion says, I promise, I won't stab you. I just need to get across this river. I got to get back to my babies." Frog puts the scorpion on his back. Frog starts swimming across the river. Frog gets into the middle of the river. Scorpion stings the frog in the back. The frog said, "Why did you sting me? Now we're both going to drown." The scorpion said, "It's in my nature to do it." Guys, these people are violent. They love and celebrate killing Americans. It is in their nature. They literally fund terrorism all over the Middle East to kill Americans. But you know what? We just going to take their word for it. Hillary Clinton said, "If I get elected president, the first thing I'm going to do is bomb Iran." That was only 10 years ago. But she didn't get elected. She was the Secretary of State for Barack Obama. Barack Obama gave Iran billions of dollars. But his Secretary of State was like, "Nah, I'm going to bomb him." Joe Biden got elected, gave him billions of more dollars. Soon as he gave him the pallet with the 18 billion, you know what they did? They funded and trained troops from Hamas, who then did the attack on October 7th. See, just like you guys think that Israel creates circumstances to allow them to invade and bomb and do shit like that, Iran does the same thing. Iran does proxy attacks too. Because Iran likes to get attacked, especially during negotiations, because that gives them an excuse to walk away from the negotiating table. But you can ask anybody who was involved in those talks. They said it just feels like Iran is trying to drag the conversation out while they can continue to enrich uranium and try to build a nuclear weapon. Negotiations for a nuclear weapon should not take that long.
And how they're positioning themselves, how they feel. Axios had reporting that the UAE says it's seen more drones.
Guys, if you disagree with me, the link is in the comments. Come on. I want you to tell. Somebody said, "You're an idiot on this one." No, I want you to come show it to me. You tell me, "Hey, Brandon, pull this up. I'll pull it up for you right now. We ain't got shit to do. Everybody watching, they at work. They want to know, Corporate Barnabas. What do you know to where you can disprove what I'm saying? The link is there. Anybody can come up. I'm putting the link in the chat. Come on up. So you can convince me how you, who ain't never been to Iran, don't know a damn Iranian, don't know the Ayatollah, how you gonna tell me with confidence, "Nah, Brandon, you wrong." No, I don't know. I know some Iranian people. They support what the United States is doing. But overwhelmingly, we are all at the mercy of information from our side. And if our side says they killed this many people, and soldiers, hey man, they be like roadside bombs doing all types of shit. They screaming "Death to America" every morning before they eat their toast. Oh, that's a lie, huh? I know we don't scream. I know our schools don't train us to chant "Death to Iran" every morning. I know that for a fact. But it's like the scorpion and the frog. You want to take a chance? You want to see what they do? Oh, America don't involve them. Okay, let's see what they do when they do get the nuke. You dealing with the same shit in Russia right now. Russia is pretty much able to do whatever they do. And the rest of the world can't do anything to stop them, really, because they have a nuclear weapon. They have nuclear weapon capability. You go and try to call yourself stopping them, they bomb you and you die. You bomb them, they bomb you, and everyone dies. You want to give a country that is the number one state sponsor of terrorism the ability to build a nuclear weapon. Bro, you are out of your flipping mind, dude. Look, this is how stupid you got to be. You want to give, I don't care what you say, really. You want to give a country that chants death to America, the ability to bring death to America. Woo, you got to be a special kind of dummy. You got to be a special kind of dummy at that point, baby. They could just be playing. We just playing. I don't give a damn. The minute you start talking about death to America, I live in America. I live in America. Let's go, Jakari.
Daddy. Hey, you hear my son? I'm at the park right now. I'm supposed to be playing with him. So you about to hear noise.
Go ahead.
My whole thing is this, like, you got to be realistic with the situation. Like, America ain't in a fight right now. So of course I don't want us to lose. But when they say shit like #1 sponsor of terrorism, let's be real. We're literally on our news talking about arming the Kurds, which we've armed numerous times, which is why they said, we're not your pawns. We created numerous, look, we overthrew Iran. We did a bad job of overthrowing Iran. So then we armed Iraq to fight Iran. Then we didn't like what they did. So we overthrew Iraq. And then we funded Al Qaeda. Like, bro, let's be real with the situation. Like, I don't talk like my side can't do bullshit. Like, you know how people be like, my kid ain't do nothing wrong. And they really do. Like, we stay doing stupid shit. And what we're doing now, if anything, they chant death to America because they mad at what we've been doing for 70 years. But even with them chanting death to America, they have never did a terror attack on American soil.
That has nothing to do with it.
Never. Let me finish.
Wait, stop right there for the sake of clarity.
Go ahead.
So the stupid position you're taking is just because you kill America, as long as you kill Americans off American soil, that's fine.
No, that's not it. So
that's
don't
exactly what you just said.
That's what your interpretation. That's your level of That's your level of interpretation and your ability. Brandon,
no matter what they
brother. I could be at the park. Look, I'm not about to get loud with you at the park. You can just go back to asking people to. You could go back to asking people to let you come on, or you can have somebody come on.
You're trying to.
Those are the options. I'm trying to speak, and you stopped me. You stopped me in mid conversation. It said for clarity. What the fuck are you talking about? Trying to talk over you.
You said you're not going to yell at me at the park.
And then you told me my position. And I'm telling you it's not it. And I'm literally talking. I told you your level of interpretation.
Go ahead.
You're saying that the #1 terrorist and all you're talking about is him attacking Israel. I don't give a fuck about Israel. Blow that shit to the smithereens.
Attacking Israel.
All I care about is America.
I didn't say a single word about them attacking Israel.
Bro, when you were just talking, you just the #1. You're the number. You just said they're the #1 attackers of Israel. They in negotiations. They hide their hands so they can wait to be attacked. Then you just said so they can wait to be attacked, just like Israel does the same thing too. You were just saying that.
I said that.
Okay. Well, you didn't say it then.
I said they killed American troops.
You didn't say that they were doing bullshit in negotiations. That's not true.
Listen, I did not say that they're the #1 attackers of Israel. I literally said they kill American troops with roadside bombs. They did the Marine barracks attack. I'm making the point of you saying I said that they're the #1 attackers of Israel. I didn't even bring Israel
up. You said #1 terror. They're the #1 terrorists in the world. No, they're not. We are. And I know it. And I'm okay with it. We've been doing terror.
That's your opinion.
Our first terror attack was the Boston Tea Party. We've been doing this shit. This is how we rock. This is how we get down as Americans.
Wait.
If I'm a British loyalist, that's a terror attack.
You said you're not going to yell.
You're right.
So you're telling me this is the ignorance that you're displaying right now. You just said, wait a minute. Hold on. You just said that people in Boston throwing tea into Boston Harbor is a terrorist attack.
My boy, listen, if you're disturbing commerce of a country, that's a terror attack. Stop.
Okay.
Like think about it. So again, like I was saying, America was built on terror attacks, giving blankets to the Indians, arming other Indians. Do you want me to keep going? Or do you want to just stay at the Boston Tea Party and you want to write that Boston Tea Party one? Because you see, what I'm telling you is we're the #1 people of terror, and I'm okay with that because the terror is always for our benefit, or it's supposed to be for our benefit.
So you're telling me that during a time when people have very little understanding of science or germs, they said we're going to do chemical warfare on people by giving them smallpox blankets. Most people didn't even know they had smallpox when they had it. It wasn't like today. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It wasn't like today where you can go to the doctor, get blood work. They say, no, you have smallpox. People might be coughing. I got a cough. I got an itchy throat. I'm not
So Brandon, you're saying that we didn't, America, the government didn't give disease blankets. It's a known fact. Okay, let's say they didn't. Did America do terror attacks on their own people? Did they?
Where?
Give black people diseases?
That was
syphilis.
That was a terror attack?
Is it an attack on your own people?
Those were
Philadelphia when we bombed Philadelphia. Is that a terror attack?
That wasn't a terror attack.
Tulsa. What was
it? That wasn't a terror attack. First of all, you're saying that all
right,
people who are in a what they feel is a hostage situation, being burnt out of a building, right? That's a terror attack. You're saying that Miss Evers boys, a county in a state doing a radical experiment on people, injecting them with something that is a terrorist attack. First of all,
listen to what I'm telling you.
The intent was not to instill.
Let's establish this basis, because what we're doing now is going off on a tangent.
No, I'm not going off on a tangent. You brought that stuff up, but what I'm telling you is a terrorist attack implies that someone's doing it to influence your political position in decision making. None of that has to do with political decision making.
Brandon, in America, when black people were voting Republican, Democrats were standing in front of the ballot offices, killing them niggas. Now, are those terror attacks?
You can call that terrorism.
Okay, so now, those are the same people, right? Those people, those European Caucasian people are the same people who took over, who are running the government. Those are the same people who have made thousands of treaties and broken in with the Native Americans. Those are the people who just sank a ship that had no weapons, that was invited to a thing.
No, that's not true.
I feel like Iran was stupid to go, knowing America was there, especially with what they already did. But also, it had no weapons on it. It was in a parade, bro, circling around Sri Lanka.
A parade during wartime.
Yeah, hey, you would be surprised at the stupid shit they do. Look, they just did a wartime. They just did Russia, China, and Iran just did a naval exercise while the United States was there. But look, back to the fact. The fact what I was saying was, first, we are the #1 sponsors of terror. We sponsor terrorism all over the world. We do. America. We learned from the same people who helped us create the OSS, the CIA, and the FBI. And that's what they did. As soon as they got in to position, they bombed the King David Hotel. And from that point forward, there's been terrorism. I'm pretty sure there was a round even before that. So I don't sit up here and say that. I've listened to Iran. All they did was give us concessions. What they said was, we're not giving up our ballistic missiles, so we're a defenseless country against Israel. We see what y'all did to Libya when he got rid of his stuff. And that's not what we're willing to do. We're willing to let you check to make sure we're not making any new. Hold on, let me finish. They said, we will give up. They did ask them to give up their ballistic missiles. And that's why I said, they agreed. They said, don't enrich uranium. We not. We was already in an agreement with y'all. Y'all backed out. We still in the same thing. Y'all come check the shit. We ain't doing it. But we need uranium because we want to use it for power. But you can check everything else. They said, okay. Well, since you're going to do that, get rid of ballistic missiles. Oh, hell no. Now you want us to be a defenseless country against a country like Israel who does a bunch of fuck shit. And look what y'all did to Libya. I'm good. That makes sense to me. To me, as a logical person thinking, this dude knocked people out who ain't got a gun. He telling me, put my gun down. I should keep my gun.
All right, yeah.
If I'm going to go out, I might as well go out on my... And that's what it is. So right now for them, they know they about to lose. But they saying, we rather lose fighting than lose by giving up everything. And that's why even now, they getting that shit rocked. What they doing? Going back in the streets. Death to America. Like, for real, y'all.
Oh, okay.
You the new leader? Why you on TV if you the new leader and you see everybody getting blew up? Y'all stupid. They don't care.
I'm going to just take it from a position of correcting lies. So the ship that was sunk, the major warship that was sunk by the U.S. submarine was called the Soleimani. The Soleimani is a heavily armed stealth catamaran twin-hull missile corvette operated by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The weapon system of the Soleimani is Shahid Soleimani class. This class of ship is known for carrying a high volume of weaponry for its size, often described as a missile truck on the water. They have anti-ship missiles. They have a vertical launching system. They have 6 large surface to surface cruise missiles, 16 smaller cells for surface to air missiles, artillery, and Gatling guns, 1 by 30 millimeter autocannon as its main gun, 4 to 6 by 20 millimeter or 23 millimeter Gatling guns. They also have the ship features a helipad for 1 helicopter and a built-in crane to launch and retrieve 3 fast attack boats. You just said that the ship that was sunk was unarmed. This is like their number one. This is their flagship for their navy. How is
now
it
listen,
unarmed?
I just sent you an article from military.com.
Okay.
Posted it in chat. Again, it is a armed. It can be armed. There's a such thing as that. You can go to Hawaii. They got a decommissioned tank right out there. Does the tank have capabilities to hold weapons and fire and fire rounds? Yes. But did it at that moment? No. Read the article. That's from military.com.
There was a woman.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay.
All I did was soft Google search Iranian ship sank.
Okay.
Once I put that in, the very first thing that comes up was that military article where it says strikes on Iran's frigate triggers debate over law.
You cut out. But so he typed in attack on Iranian ship. Okay, you back?
Type it in. No, just go to the link. I already posted it.
Okay, let me just say this. Look, the ship that we're all talking about is the one that was online shown getting blown up. You typed in attack on an Iranian ship. You're literally saying that you're doing the Obama. Let them shoot at you, then you can do something. The reality is, if I'm already bombing you and I see a warship coming across, well, it wasn't even coming across, it was like 30 miles away or something when they detected it. If I see you then put a warship on the water, I'm gonna wait until you fire at me to cost more American life. See, that's what I'm saying.
Let me explain it to you because I've read.
You gotta wait because I'm gonna let you talk as much as you want. But listen, there's a certain mental disconnect. There's a certain mental disconnect to reality. I'm gonna let you jeopardize the lives of American troops first. Then I'm gonna do something so someone like you can then say, "See, 6 Americans died." You're smart. The way your argument is in bad faith. You're trying to get America in a gotcha moment, and then when we won't let you set us up for the gotcha moment, then you start yelling and getting mad. That's not gonna work. That might work on like a prostitute, right? Somebody who mind is mush. They can be easily manipulated. We grown folks right here. Ain't nobody gonna let you throw a punch first before. That's like black folks like hit me first. And then as we got older, we learned that a man hitting you in your face could knock you unconscious. So the hit me first went out the window.
Oh crap!
With strength and age. Hit me first went out the window with strength and age. When you was a kid, hit me first because it wasn't going to do shit. Once you got 15, 14, this fool might knock me out. So you started hitting first. That's kind of what America's like, we already talked to you. You didn't want to negotiate. So now we hitting you. So anything you put on the water, we destroying it. I have muted you because you was talking to somebody, but you can go ahead.
I told them at the park, my kid playing.
You good,
look, let me explain this to you. It was a parade. 74 nations were invited. They all came with their guns, with their ships, decommissioned. America was also invited. The last minute, our ship pulled out. It was just circling around Sri Lanka, all the ships circling around Sri Lanka, which is an island, and it was for the president of Sri Lanka to see it. America pulls out. Iran does the thing, goes back to dock in Sri Lanka. Once they get into international waters, they get bombed. So it's the equivalent to what just happened at Maritime Burger. Dude was tripping. He walked off the property. As soon as he got off the property, what happened? So now, and they told you, everyone's ships were decommissioned. It's 74 nations. Yeah, it got a helicopter pad. It's got all these guns and weapons, but we don't got none on us now. Nothing. Zero, zilch. So if you shoot at us, we all came here in good faith. That's why you post the story or the article, you can read the very first thing. They're talking about morality, maritime law, and all that. Like, can you even do that? Because like I said, we already got a history of doing that already. Oh, let's talk for 6 days. We bombed a nuclear facility. Oh, we'll bomb, let's talk in 10 days. We'll figure it out. Short of the time, we attack them. So again, these people still constantly coming to the table trying to deal with people who keep sucker punching their ass. To me, they're stupid. Because they see what America wants to do. This is a situation where you know this dude could beat your ass. He's trying to start a fight, but you don't want to fight. And you know you have to fight because if you don't, he's going to beat you up anyway. So everything they're doing, the military's so powerful. They said this is the first time we sent the torpedo. You know why they sent the torpedo? Because the thing was unarmed. It was an easy layup. So you shoot a torpedo, something that ain't blew up nothing since World War II. Okay. Let's be realistic, brother.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not here to spew lies and try to go for either side. I don't care. Like I said, once we're in the war, we're done. We're done. You already just said I was spewing lies. You just said that.
I'm not going to say you're lying. I'm just going to say you have a lot of misinformation and you spew very confidently.
So the misinformation. You just said you're not going to say lie. Put the mic down.
I just want to clarify what's going on here because this is just a confusion thing. So basically, I put it in Gemini, and Gemini said it said that the Qasem Soleimani's ship, the Iranian ship named Qasem Soleimani, Comrade, or the Soleimani class itself, is a source of confusion. The sinking of the Iris Dina was on March 4th, 2026. An Iranian frigate, the Iris Dina, was sunk by a
down. Put me on mute.
I got you. The Iranian frigate, the Iris Dina, was sunk by a U.S. submarine torpedo in the Indian Ocean on Wednesday. The parade connection. The ship had just finished participating in the Milan 2026 International Naval Parade and exercises in India. It was literally on its way home from that parade of nations when it was targeted. The Soleimani connection. The Dina was part of the same Iranian naval group that includes the Shahid Soleimani class corvettes. So the Soleimani was sunk on the 6th. The ship you're talking about, the Iris Medina, which is a frigate, because you said frigate as well, was sank on the 4th. So you're right.
I'm talking about the frigate. I'm talking about the cheap shot. That was a cheap ass,
that's fine,
shady ass move.
But what I'm talking about is the flagship, which is the Qasem Soleimani.
Oh, the one that was the drone ship?
No, that was separate. The drone ship is another one.
That's not. Look, the frigate is the one that got sank by the torpedo. That's the one I'm talking about, where they did some cheap shit.
Right.
Okay, that's the one where they sank it off the Indian water when it had no weapons on it.
That's why we went to AI to clarify what's going on. The unarmed ship was sank on March 4th. The armed ship, which was like their strongest ship, the Soleimani, was sank on March 6th, and then the drone ship was sank after that. I remember the reports of the drone ship.
Their navy is cooked, but I'm just saying that one ship we sank was on some shady shit, and that's what I'm saying. That's how we've been moving with these people, and then we turn around and act like they're the ones. They're chanting death to America. People from the hood still say fuck some hood, whatever, because they great, whatever got shot by somebody.
So
we're talking about people who constantly keep getting played. We gonna look. We in a nuclear deal. We're doing everything you tell us. Oh, we out of there. We ain't messing with you. Oh, now we need y'all to come to the table with a nuclear deal. You mean like the one we were just in, that y'all pulled out of? Okay, well we agree to everything. Now what? Oh, get rid of your missiles. Come on, man. You just want the fade. And the reason why Hillary said that she wanted the fade is because that's what they all got to say. Just like I posted in 2019. I said, damn. I hope Trump don't get pushed into this war because he's doing a lot of stuff for Israel. He just announced Jerusalem as the capital. He's doing a lot of stuff that shows that shows me that he's a little bit too close to them. As much as I like him, he might lose me on Israel.
I think everyone goes to like the easiest thing for them to grasp, where they just say, oh, this is about Israel. And I really don't think this is about Israel because Trump been on Iran since 2016. Hillary was on Iran. There's a lot of people who
do you not know why you have to be on Iran? Because you cannot not be on Iran to not get elected. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You can easily not be on Iran because Trump didn't even run on going after Iran. And then he started talking about that like 2 years into his campaign on 2016. The point I'm making is this.
So wait. In 2000, during his first presidency, he was doing all types of stuff to Iran. From 2016 to 2020.
How many Americans? Wait. How many? Let me just ask you this: how many Americans does it take to die before you say, "All right, we need to do something about Iran"?
What do you mean? How many Americans does it take to die?
Iran has killed thousands of Americans at this point.
At the ratio, what's the ratio? What's the plus minus?
I'm asking you a very simple question. How many Americans does Iran have to kill through direct terrorist attacks, Iran-funded militias, roadside bombs manufactured in Iran? At what point is it okay to say, you know what? It's like, you're a bully, I'm a bully. At what point does we, the bully, get to go beat up the other bully to just keep them to say, you know what, you want to be a big boy? Because we know Iran can't fuck with America in a head up fade. So the fact that Iran will keep doing things to America.
Who do you think killed more Americans? Iran or the Mexican cartel?
That's irrelevant. Mexican.
No, it isn't. This is a really good question. Just answer it for me.
Trump is going.
Answer it real quick. It's a quick question.
Mexican cartels. I'm sure the Mexican cartels.
Okay, so wait, which one's closer to my border? Iran or the Mexican cartel?
But Trump just hit the Mexican cartels.
I'm just asking, which one's closer?
You know it. You already know. But
okay,
your
so
question
again,
falls on his face because Trump dealt with
I got more questions. Okay. And China is funding them with the fentanyl, right? So who killed more people? China, Americans, or Iran?
China.
Okay, so why are we not attacking China then?
Because
you see what I mean? So if we start applying the logic all the way out through various different situations, then you see, bro, if you're telling me how many Americans have to die before we go to war with them, I'm saying, okay, 1,000 died. So if 1,000 is the number, then how long ago was 1,000 people died in the cartel? When was 1,000 cartel, 1,000 people was killed by the cartel? I'm pretty sure that was like 1980.
I'll put it in a way you can understand. You're like the coach who refuses to get out of man defense and play zone, even though his kids on an individual level cannot keep up with the other team, right? You like the white coach who think the white kids gonna defend the black team in man-to-man coverage. That's you. So, and
why you say that?
Trump, because I'm telling you, because Trump is like this. If I get Iran, the easy target who did this shit to us and out here constantly talking like they won't smoke, because China don't talk like they won't smoke. And that's our number one trade partner. Iran's the one talking shit. So Iran's the one lining himself up to get hit. And they've also hit some American targets and funded some bullshit, right? If I get Iran, I pretty much eliminate China and Russia because China gets the majority of their oil from Iran. I've gotten Venezuela, cut that oil supply off, and Russia gets the majority of its weapons from Iran. Why would I go start a nuclear war with them when I could just cut off their little supplier and it's done? Trump is playing chess, and you like, nah, you should go toe to toe, like in the movie Rush Hour when that fool told Chris Tucker. Wait. When the Chinese dude told Chris Tucker to put his gun down and fight like a man. Are you stupid? Chris Tucker knew when I drop my gun, this fool gonna jump down. He gonna try to pull out another gun and kill me. That's America. No. We not gonna do none of that. Put down the gun and fight like man.
Listen.
No, bam, you're fucking dead. That's Trump. He ain't playing no games with you. And I'm gonna let you say this. Then we gotta go to my other.
Okay, he been very patient. Appreciate you. Real quick, I'm gonna just say this. It would be I would think it was strategic if it was really strategic, but it's just something you could say. Like when somebody do something stupid, like the dude knocked the bully out, but he really ain't got no hands, and then they think he got hands, and so now it looks smart. Or he put C on the test and passed, but he really didn't know what he was doing. Like what we're doing is just a bidding. Look, General Wesley Clark in 2001 said, "I just got a memo after 9/11. We're going into all these countries." Why is it so coincidentally that we went into all those countries? How come since 1980, minimum since 1986? Well, since 1986, Bibi Netanyahu's been coming to the president talking about how dangerous Iran is. And we knew Iran was nothing because we had overthrown them, sent them to war. We've been doing everything we can to make Ari, come here. We've been doing everything we can to keep them in that position that they're in. They have nothing. They're not a threat. It's like, it would be like, all right, you America, right? And Iran is your nephew, talking trash, saying what he gonna do, doing all this, saying, I'm a whoop, he wake up every day, I'm gonna whoop my uncle ass, watch, I'm gonna beat his ass. But you know he can't. And the reason why he's saying that, because every day, whenever he finally stack a little cheddar, you go in there and take his money. You make sure that he can't get a good job. You doing all this stuff to him. He get a little girlfriend, you take her, beat up his homies. You see what I'm saying? So now he's trying to get back at you any way he can. So of course, do I think that they doing proxies? I would imagine, if you understand the history of what's been happening over the 70 years, I would imagine you trying to get at them some way. I would imagine that.
No.
So I'm not gonna say if I had democratically elected a government and then y'all overthrow my government, install a king, then my people rise up, throw the king out. Even though we elected a religious clergy, it's still who we choose. And then after that, you immediately send Saddam Hussein in Iraq to come to war with us and tear our shit up. And then that was all through the 80s and 90s. Then in the 90s, we trying to be cool and calm, and y'all still saying that we dangerous and we gonna get a nuke. And we're telling you guys the whole time we're not gonna get a nuke since 1990. Since 1990, since 1986. If they wanted to get a nuke and that's what they were doing, I would hope they were smart enough to have one by now. If they got all this other sophisticated stuff and they're dealing with Russia and China, why didn't they just give them a nuke? They could have just gave it to them.
You're not being cool killing American soldiers, man.
What they could have did?
You act like Turkey.
You're right. You're right. You know what? No. That's not cool. That's not cool. And you know what? That's no different than it wasn't cool. So ask the government about USS Liberty and why that was cool and why they threw that under the table.
What does that have to do with Israel? What happened? Oh, damn you! What happened? What does that have to do with Israel? You circle all boats back to Israel. I want to just point this out.
I do. When it comes to this situation, I do, and you know why? And this ain't nothing. This ain't no new thing. Because like I said, I got posts from 2019 about the same stuff. I got posts from 2020. I got posts from 2012. It's once you acknowledge and can see the forest for the trees, it's kind of hard not to notice the shade. You see what I mean?
I think that what you have to do to be in that mindset is just to totally throw away nuance, totally throw away context. You just have to say, no matter what, is this all leads back to Israel. The reality is the United States and Israel have an interest in getting rid of Iran, period. And the United States interest over time has grown in getting their incentive to get rid of Iran has actually grown. So when Bibi, it's like two homies. Hey man, we get rid of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? We'll be the dominant force in the region. We could expand our territory, and y'all be able to control all our oil and shit. It's a mutual benefit. I would agree to it if I was the United States, and it would have nothing to do with what Israel's gonna get. It would have to do with what I'm gonna get. You know, there is no honor among thieves. But what I want to point out real quick, come back up here, man. Corporate, come back up here. I gave you
I'm about to slide off. Let him come back.
Cool. All right, cool.
Go ahead. Let me finish you.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is this. So we have this situation with the nuclear program, right? Currently, Iran, this is UN nuclear inspectors. They blocked the UN inspectors from going into Natanz to check to make sure they're not enriching uranium past what they agreed.
When was this? When was this?
This
you gotta add the nuance, like you said. There's nuance to it. So when was it?
Let me see.
Was this after the nuclear deal was thrown out and there was no deal, and y'all still trying to have people coming in checking on my shit when you ain't even got to deal with me?
Hold on.
The inspections were when they started announcing like, hey, we're gonna make a nuclear weapon, man. Like what you're failing to realize is what Brandon was saying was right. If you are going to attack strategically, you attack the supply lines. What Trump is doing, he already hit and took out one of the leaders in the cartel. I think it was like the number 1 or number 2 guy in Mexico.
Yeah, Mencho.
He focused on Venezuela. He got Maduro. That's one of the linchpins knocked out. That was supplying a good chunk of Iran's oil. Then he went and did the same thing to Iran, and that's not only crippling China, because China's getting the bulk of their oil from both Russia, not Russia, but from Iran, and also Venezuela.
80% of their oil, I think they were getting from Iran.
So he's cucking essentially China because they're not going to have enough oil to launch a campaign against Taiwan. He has them neutralized, because they're affecting the oil supply, because an economy and the military needs oil in order to function.
Mm-hmm. So real quick,
hold on.
For the record,
let me finish. Nigga, let me finish.
Hey,
you went rambling you've been rambling for like the past 30 minutes, nigga.
He got his kids
let me
with
finish.
him. He got his kids with him. Just
hey man, chill out. Chill your ass out. Or we can meet up.
Calm down.
I'm ex-military, man.
Stop it.
What that mean to me?
Guys.
To me.
Hey, guys. Both of y'all acting like Iran in the United States right now. Calm down.
He the one coming in with the feminine energy.
No, it's okay. Okay, guys, listen. It's cool. Listen, real quick, just to clarify, since 2018, year after year, Iran has been not allowing and blocking the UN from coming in to inspect.
And when did we tear up the nuclear deal?
What does that have to do with the UN?
Because it makes sense. Why would if I tear up a nuclear deal and the main people are in it, why? That's like me saying, I want to go to your house, right? But your friend is there and you not there and he say, come through. I'm not going because it's your house. You see what I mean? It's the same thing. So if the main people you made the deal with,
if you're not agreeing to the deal in the first place, what the fuck does it matter if someone comes through?
There was a deal, Philly. There was a deal. That's why they tore it up. Pay attention. Keep up.
Yeah, they tore it up because they wasn't going to agree with it in the first place.
Who tore up the deal?
That's the reason why they blocked them.
Who tore up the deal?
Iran did.
Listen,
by blocking the inspectors, they were tearing up the deal.
No, they didn't. We tore it up.
Yes, they did.
You're in the
Trump
you don't even know this shit.
Trump tore it up. I think Trump tore it up.
Trump tore it up. He withdrew us. He threatened to withdraw us from all types of stuff, and he froze their money again and all that. So let's be real. Like I said, let's be realistic.
We are being real.
And let's not spew lies, like Brandon like to say. He over here spewing lies.
Which one?
No, not you. He's spewing lies. Thank you for correcting his lies. Like I said, when you look at it from the China perspective, that is something I like, because you already know we've been talking about China and Russia going to war with America for almost 10 years now. We've been talking about it. So that is something I do like, because I do not want China to take over at all. But also at the same time, I'm being realistic. Like, what's the excuse going to be for us when we invade Turkey for Israel? That's what I want to know.
We're not invading Turkey.
Okay, but if it is, what's the excuse going to be? What do they have strategically, and how is that going to be such a great test?
We're not invading Turkey. Too many
that's
niggas want to go get their hair transplant.
What Israel won't, that's what Israel get, bro.
Israel wants to wipe Iran off the face of the earth. The United States is not letting that happen. Israel wants to keep bombing Gaza. The United States did not let that happen. We're not going to do it. Listen, bro, you talk about how evil the United States can be, and then you say they need Israel to be evil. I know the United States don't need Israel to pump them up to do some crazy shit, because the United States has done plenty of crazy stuff. Stop trying to center Israel. Israel is going on in their own best interest, what they think is best for them. I understand that. But the United States knows that they want to have a dog collar on China, and they want to have a disruptive impact on Russia. That's how they've been. In a way, United States benefits from this more than Israel, because Israel is not controlling the world economic, the trade of oil around the globe. So the United States wins.
You ain't saying they don't control economics. Well,
they control.
Look at the richest people in America who got the most money and how they're dual citizens.
Nah, Warren Buffett and them is not Jewish, bro.
Larry
Elon
Ellison,
Musk ain't Jewish.
Larry
Elon Musk the
Ellison.
richest. Elon Musk the richest, and that boy ain't Jewish.
And he ain't saying a thing.
Bill Gates ain't Jewish. So yes, we know there's Jewish people and they doing whatever they do. But what I'm telling you is there are people who are non-Jewish white, and there are people who are Jewish white, and they work together to get what they want. That's why I made my video before where I was like, black folks need to worry about what we gonna do instead of trying to talk shit about what everybody else is doing. But I'll tell you this, Donald Trump withdrew from that nuclear negotiations. Iran started talking about they was gonna build a nuclear weapon. And guess what? One thing every country on this earth know, if you try to build a nuclear weapon, the powers of this globe will come after you to stop you from doing that. Them's the rules. He who has the power makes the rules. So
that's
they
not
asking
true.
to get
That's
cooked.
not true in every case.
Okay.
And
who's making
really? So So when you was growing up, who made the rules? You or your mother and father?
Your mother.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Who made the rule when you was growing up? Who had the power? Was it you?
My parents.
Or was it your mother and father?
My parents.
Okay
clearly.
then. Okay then.
Listen,
you didn't have the power, so you didn't. So you
you're
couldn't
not understanding. Again, you don't understand. So it's okay. What Brandon just said was no one gets a nuclear weapon without. What'd you say? They don't get a nuclear weapon if they don't want you to get. No one wants nobody else to get a nuclear weapon, right?
Yes.
So how did Israel get their nuclear weapon?
I knew it. They stole it. They stole the tech. Well, I don't.
They stole the tech. Hey, look. What happened? We wanted to check their nuclear facility. We got our president killed. How we checked their nuclear facility?
Let me tell you this.
Never. We never even checked them on it. We don't know what they got. Not only that, wait. Let me finish. One more thing.
Go ahead.
Not only do we not know what they got, but we also know they have something called the Samson option, where if their country's about to fall, they bomb everyone with nukes. America, China, Russia, all of Europe. So we know that they have that, number one, and we know that they stole it from
First and foremost, Israel doesn't have enough nukes to actually do that. Russia has more nukes than all of them combined, man.
Listen, how do you know how many nukes Russia got? I mean, Israel got.
They got 1,000 nukes, man.
No. I didn't mean Russia. I meant Israel.
Israel doesn't have 1,000 nukes.
How do you know when we ain't even seen? We ain't seen nothing.
How would you know how many nukes that Israel have anyway, man?
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm asking you, my man. That's what I'm asking you.
I know how many nukes. Because
they probably have when we've never even got to be able to get in there. We can't get into Mona. So how do you know anything? All I know is what they say. All I know is they got nukes
by the radiation levels.
Listen, they got. All we know is they got nukes, and you know what else we know? That they have an option to bomb America. That will bomb America.
Here's the thing.
Okay, gentlemen, hold on, because I had another person with this Israel stole nuclear off the, this type of shit. And I said to him, because if you just look at this shit from just a real holistic lens, the majority of the scientists who worked on the nuclear project, the building the atomic bomb, were Jewish. The man who was the director of the entire project was Jewish. So in a way, Israel didn't have to steal shit. They were the ones who created the atomic bomb. So either whatever you say, they could have either stolen it, which is a conspiracy theory, is being logged as a conspiracy theory, or they could have simply used their scientists who worked on creating the damn bomb to give them the technology or the science to give them the information on how to create the bomb. So whether you like it or not, the Jews are responsible for us even having the nuclear capability. And so them having the nuclear capability themselves was inevitable and unavoidable. So you can just not lose sleep at night over that. They were going to get it either way, whether they stole it.
So you might as well just leave your door open, Brandon, because they could already watch you and got you on camera. So you might as well just leave your door open.
Ain't no point it ain't no point locking your door if the thief is a locksmith. Let's put it like that. Ain't no point locking your door if the thief is a locksmith. He gonna get in. He created. He knows that lot better than you do.
Anything. And you could justify. People find reason to justify. People find reason to justify anything. There's tons of technology that melanated people came up with, Indian people came up with. I, as a melanated man or another country, or me say, oh, a Nigerian came up with that. So Nigeria gets to steal the information. Dude was from the United States. Listen, Oppenheimer was from the United States of America first.
Doesn't matter.
Second, he was Jewish by ethnicity.
Oppenheimer was a Jewish.
He did not even practice Judaism.
Okay, so look.
He was a communist too.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Look. No, it's not. Look, okay, so look. Isidore Isaac Rabi, he was Jewish. Richard Feynman, he was Jewish.
Albert Einstein.
Otto Frisch was Jewish. Edward Teller was Jewish. Hans Bethe was Jewish. Albert Einstein was Jewish. Leo Szilard was Jewish. Oppenheimer was Jewish. This is 8 damn Jews who worked on this project when there was actually hundreds of thousands of scientists who worked on this project. You saying they got the nuke, bro, they probably had it before we did. But you'll never know because it's all lost in history. These guys, I don't care what you say. Out of one of these dudes was willing to sell that information or took that back to Israel like this is how we going to leverage this situation with America. I could see that happening because I would do that with Africa. If a bunch of African scientists worked on an atomic bomb for America, if I'm one of them, I'm like, I got to give my people the shit too, so they can come in and whoop on us with it. Nobody truly gives one group the advantage over another. And they probably released information saying, well, maybe this will ensure that the United States doesn't become tyrannical across the globe if they only have the power. Russia has the damn atomic bomb. Who gave it to them? They're not Jewish. This is a sickness.
Wait, stop. You're wrong. You're wrong about that. The Bolshevik government was Jewish. And
the Bolsheviks are not the ones who got the Bolsheviks are not the ones
here's the
who
thing,
got
they
the
got it through
atomic bomb.
industrial
The Bolsheviks
espionage.
got overthrown.
The Russians got the nuclear bomb through industrial espionage. Second of all, the Russians currently right now have something we don't have any counters for, which are hypersonic missiles, which can be launched and hit a target under 20 minutes.
Yeah, we have hypersonic missiles.
No, we don't. No,
yes,
we do not.
Yes, we do.
We do not have hypersonic missiles.
Now. I just was researching. We do now. We actually have something. We actually have.
They're several generations behind what Russia has, but. You know what I'm saying? If we do have them.
Well,
what I'm saying is that
research that.
I will.
Go ahead, keep going.
No, but what I'm saying is
Where you go?
Well, no, I'm here. What I'm saying is that if, say, Israel, like Jakari was saying, like say Israel decides to nuke everyone, Russia already has nuclear. Like their short range missiles. Like Russia has, for lack of a better term, one of the best anti-missile defenses in the world. That's what their primary military is based off of.
Oh no!
In comparison,
not in Iran.
In comparison to us and Iran, yes, we do. Yes, they do. Their military doctrine is towards anti-missile defense. Hence, one of the reasons why they're invading, they invaded Ukraine is because they didn't want us putting missiles right next to their doorstep.
So, do you think that they had a valid reason to defend themselves against Ukraine?
Yeah, because
I do too.
Because Ukraine decided to break the Minsk Accords and decide to just start killing ethnic Russians.
But it wasn't. It was also because of America. Because we overthrew their government.
I'm on Russia's side. With the
Me
Ukrainian
too. Look,
thing. But it's actually Russia's own fault.
Ukraine because they was being soft. Ukraine got their government overthrown. We put in somebody who was crazy, started killing everybody in the Donbass region, right? And then they started saying they were going to make deals with the United States by putting nukes there. Russia told them since the fall of the wall, hey man, we won't expand our we won't keep the Iron Curtain, and y'all don't try to bring them in. Just leave it neutral right there. Y'all be blue, we'll be red, leave it gray in the middle. Ever since then, all the NATO has done is grab more blue, all the way up to right on their border. They said, man, we cannot have this. If y'all do, we're going to attack. They did it. Now, what is the news spinning it as? Russia's attack of aggression. Russia did an attack of aggression just like America. No, it's not the same. This ain't the same as Iran. This ain't the same. Mexico don't got missiles on its border, or China or Russia's not trying to put missiles in Mexico or Canada or Cuba. When they tried one time in Cuba, it was almost a nuclear.
I think China was trying to put missiles in Venezuela.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, see, we got to stop that immediately. You can't do that. But I'm just saying, like, for me, I look at it from a perspective of like I'm not the parent who would be in there saying, and I'd be like, damn, I should have known that nigga did this. He killed that cat when we was little. I'm not never gonna not be objectively truthful with myself. So even when I'm talking about America, I love America. America, my favorite country. I want us to do great and prosper. But when I think about us destabilizing Iran and bringing more people over here, I think about, damn, the only thing we about to do is bring some real people that's about to do terrorist attacks, because we ain't got nobody down, but they about to come, and we about to be in danger.
Let me do a quick fact check real quick. So first of all, on March 3rd, 2026, the United States tested 3 different hypersonic weapons One was a hypersonic test bed, a 3D printed hypersonic test bed. It was successful, called the Dart AE. They then tested the Hermes quarter horse, which is a hypersonic. This is a hypersonic vehicle, like a plane for the Air Force. And then the Minuteman was a hypersonic missile that was successfully tested on March 3rd. So they've entered into hypersonic era, and it is a ballistic missile that is able to travel at hypersonic speeds, and its reentry is basically at Mach 20 plus, which will be the fastest reentry of any ballistic missile on the planet. And those tests were successful.
You
And
can't
then they
even see them hypersonic missiles when they go by.
You can definitely hear them.
You
Hypersonic
hear them
glide
and you see the
vehicles.
explosion.
But here's the thing, like I said, we just got through successfully testing our missiles. Russia has had experience not only firing them, using them in combat, obviously. The combat
They
test,
even gave some of the info.
and they're
to
also
Iran.
in production too.
Who did they use a hypersonic missile on?
They've been using hypersonics on freaking Ukraine, man, for the past like 3-4 years.
Yeah. And then what's it called? Used one on us that had a cluster of 80 sub warheads on it. They just used it when it went up in the sky.
Is this that
the
missile that Russia's been using? Has they have the nuclear capabilities of having them installed, like the nuclear warheads, but they haven't been using the actual nuclear warheads. It's been using conventional warheads. But Russia has been using hypersonic missiles and intercontinental ballistic missiles, short and long range, as well as drones and other things like that. But the war in Ukraine is like a mixture of like World War I and like freaking Call of Duty. Like it's crazy as hell. Like you cannot hide from that shit.
Y'all ain't gonna like what I say, but Ukraine was originally considered.
And here's the thing: like when I was in the army, mind you, and my job in the army was to drive a tank. And if I was to go into Ukraine right now, even if I wasn't that tank, Abrams, I still wouldn't feel safe.
You get cooked. Hey, javelin missile.
Even if you just a Ukrainian on the streets and you a man, you shouldn't feel safe. They snatching dudes off the streets, taking them to the front line.
Hey, look at this. So apparently China has been selling missiles to Venezuela. And Venezuela has since 2023 been attempting to launch these missiles, which would have given them the ability to bomb the United States of America, dude. And so in 2000,
wait, since what year? 2023?
They've been given a missile since 2023, and then they
Biden
started
was
trying
asleep in the office, man.
Oh, yep. Sleepy Joe, dude. Sleepy Joe. And so look what happened, though. They tried to fire the missiles in 2026 to test them, and the missiles failed. The missiles backfired, failed to fire one, then another one. Dude, everything basically that China sold them was bullshit. The Chinese sold them the radar.
That's about right. They must have ordered them on Amazon.
They ordered that shit on
they sent them Temu freaking
missiles.
So they had radar. So they had Chinese radar systems that failed to detect American F-35s and F-22s, which are basic aircraft.
That was the black dude from Police Academy. That's who they hired. That's the radar.
Offensive missiles. No evidence of Chinese controlled offensive missiles, but they said they had these missiles failed to fire their defensive missiles. They failed to fire during the U.S. raid. So they tried to shoot missiles at the U.S. during the raid, and they failed to fire. So Chinese just sold them some straight.
I think China not gonna try to fight no war until they people ain't got to fight, because they know they people can't win no fight. I think once they get fully automated, they're going to send a robot army in.
Drones. They probably do some drones.
Because if you look at what they're doing now, they got the robots doing karate and stuff. Once they can carry a gun and do all that, they're going to have the gamers. Sitting in the house.
Shit, I don't even see how robots can be effective. Like humanoid robots. Dude, like those are like people, but you don't got to worry about people feeling sorry for them getting wiped out. So you could just send anything at them, hit them with 100 missiles, just eradicate their ass. What kind of material
you can Moab their whole base,
and you can't really, man. Look, that'll leave a crater on the ground. Like that, China, United States, if they fight China, is not gonna fight them. They just gonna blockade the whole shit, the South China Sea, and starve them to death. My cousin, who's on a damn Navy on a submarine already told me that. He was like, we're not going to fight them. We're going to blockade. Because if the United States says you can't bring shit in or out of China, who going to stop us? Russia
The
ain't
Chinese
risking.
gonna try.
They gonna try, but
they need more aircraft carriers. They only got they got a few now. They pumping them out.
They got less than America, bro, and they're not.
They're
still
they
diesel
dropped 2 this
powered
year.
though. Yeah, but they're still diesel powered, bro. If you making a diesel powered aircraft carrier, that's like you build like I'm gonna make a gun. I'm a 3D
because it's got to go back and that refuel gonna kill them.
Yeah, you like 3D printing a musket. Like, what the
But
fuck
see,
is
look,
that gonna
there's
do?
another thing we're not thinking about. All those Gulf countries that surround Iran, they don't produce. All their food comes in through the Straits of Hormuz. So right now, they about to be starved out too.
Bro, I'm telling you, China imports everything, bro. They look literally in 30 days, their population will be in starvation in 30 days.
I believe it, but I don't know how because their country is massive.
Iran's already starved. Like what the heck you talking about, man? Like
I'm not talking about Iran. I'm talking about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all them. They don't produce anything. Everything comes in. Everything comes in for them. Through the Straits of Hormuz. So they're gonna have trouble in a few. I don't know how much longer they're gonna have until all
they can go through. I know Saudi Arabia can actually go through the Suez Canal and Egypt. They can get food that way because that's another avenue they could use instead of the Straits of Hormuz.
Qatar and all our other Bahrain?
Qatar, it's gonna take Qatar longer to get their stuff because it's going through, the Suez Canal through I think it's the Arabian Gulf. The Arabian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz and to Oman. But what I'm saying is that Iran has a crumbling infrastructure. Their water supply is dwindling because of the Iranian regime is saying like, hey, we're going to prioritize attacking everyone else instead of our own people. Their currency isn't hyperinflated and they can't buy shit. So, if anything, us as a country, like
for $600.
Yeah, like what I'm saying, like it's crazy. I mean, like what would probably be the effective strategy
like that,
is having our guys arm the actual people of Iran and have the people of Iran do the heavy lifting instead of sending our guys.
Yeah, but the people don't want to fight. They like their country. They like their setup, and that's the thing that people don't realize. They like their setup. We don't like their setup.
So why did 50,000 plus protesters die? For the hell of it? No, they were pissed the hell off, and it was growing until the freaking stuff. The ship popped off, and we bombed them. Like it was getting to the point where hey. Like that's why they shut off their internet is because they didn't want stuff that was like support the spread and shit. Like if you're communicating through the internet and you could shut that shit off, you prevent your enemy from coordinating.
Yeah,
it's a simple military tactic, man.
Why we call it the Middle East and not Africa? How you feel about that?
I think it's on a different continent.
I don't care what I call it, man. I don't care if it's called East Bumfuck.
Right? No, I don't give a shit about it. I'm glad it's not called Africa because then they'll have claim to Africa. Them niggas be like, oh, we can go over there. Man, look, man. The whole thing is this. No, that what. All the people love Iran. There's no way all the people love the regime because, like, if you even got 50% of the people who love the regime, you don't need to cut the internet off. Because if you got 50 people who hate you, you're going to have 50% of the people who love you. It's like Trump. If you look at the internet, you'll think everybody in America hates Trump. But guess what? You go on the internet and you look long enough, you're going to see large pockets of people who love Trump, right? Anytime you start engaging in shit like that, like cutting the internet off and stuff, those are third world tactics, and your popularity is not as much. Bro, you got so many.
Why do Israel have their shit cut off? Not internet cut off, but they sending people to jail if they post anything from the what's going on. Like if they show their neighborhood blew up and they post it, they send them to jail for 5 years.
I don't know about
Bro,
that.
you can't keep doing that. You can't keep doing that. Go in the house.
Jakari, if you think that's bad, like if you commit a crime in say China, they literally have like these like police vans, but instead of having it being like an actual like police van to take you to jail, it's like a mobile freaking execution clinic. I'm dead
Oh, that's
serious.
crazy. And that's what people are voting for. That's what these Democrats are voting for. To bring you or digital ID. What? I'm gonna hop back on and like.
And
Okay, so
do something
all right,
outside that he
yeah,
can't
you
do.
okay, cool. All right, yeah. So basically, from what I'm seeing is Israel is arresting people for posting the missile attacks online. These actions are driven by operational security measures preventing enemies from correctly identifying Israeli targets, and the laws also against incitement. So I get that, because people will use information in like images and videos to try to like make people think that something's happening that's not happening. I see that all the time. They actually have these same laws in Africa too, by the way, where you can't incite people to do riots or anything like that, or you'll be arrested. But yeah, if I'm in the middle of a war with a country that has the capability of hitting me with a missile, I don't want people taking pictures of that shit and videos and putting it online. Now they say, oh shit, we wanted to get this building and we didn't get it. But if we would have aimed the missile a little bit to the left, we would have hit it. Like, hell no, I get that. I'm with that. So
yeah, trying like using your like photos or videos to triangulate the next target, or like say instead of like say 2 degrees to the north, it's like we need to go 2 degrees to the east. You know what I'm saying? That's how artillery fire is done. Like you fire, you have to fire and adjust.
Yeah, Americans, we enjoy a lot of comfort, but I'm just telling you, like Jakari, I know, he means well and everything, and a lot of stuff he's saying, he does say true stuff, but sometimes things are overlapping in context, because we had confusion about which ships we were talking about, right? So, that's why I like doing these type of conversations, so you can get clarity. And the thing is, you learn. So when you're hearing shit from the guy at work, you're like, nah, because I was listening to some stuff and we pulled it up online, AI, and we looked into the details, and it wasn't what you were saying it was. That's what I like. That's what I like to do. I don't know what y'all like to do, but I love to do that. But guys, let me first damn.
Hey Brandon, I want to thank you for having me on, and I'm gonna step down, man. But keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for letting me use your platform and speaking, man.
No, thank you, brother. I appreciate you hopping up here, man. I'm glad I had some content that pulled you up, man. Thank you. Hey, shout out to Black Starliner for the $10 holler in the PayPal. Guys, don't forget, you can contribute via PayPal. And then shout out to Sucker Season LA for the $5 holler in the super chat. Guys, they happened a while back, so I can't even see them on this end. Oh, here we go. Here. Okay, so Black Starliner, $10 in the PayPal. Sucker Season LA, thank you for the $5 holler in the super chat. It's chess, not checkers, bruh. Jakari was frustrating the hell out of the audience, but that's good though. That's good. So you guys, Jakari is my actual friend, so we talk all the time. So you guys could see like that I talk to people who push back against me. I don't live in an echo chamber. I talk to people who disagree with me all the time and have different opinions, and that's good. It's healthy. It keeps you sane. It keeps you from getting too radicalized, because you're like, well, he's right about this. Well, like Jakari was saying something the other day when he was like, Iran is trying to wait out the United States so they could use all their missiles, and then Iran's going to start attacking back. And I was like, yeah, that's bullshit. And then I thought about it, and I was like, Then I was like, let me go just see. And I started looking stuff up, and it was like, yeah, they trying to wait. Hexef actually was like, we know they trying to wait us out. And I said, damn. And I went back and told Jakari, nah, you was right about that. Facts. Because Hex have said the same thing. So people are not always wrong and people are not always right. As long as people are willing to identify the facts and say, okay, based on the facts, I'm willing to change my opinion. Or the facts prove what I was saying. What is this? Andrew Paul Johnson, one of the January 6 rioters pardoned by President Trump, was sentenced yesterday. He received life in prison for sexually abusing and molesting an 11 and 12-year-old girl. Okay, good. I'm glad he's in jail. What the hell does that have to do with anything? But anyway, what I want to say is, oh yeah, also guys, we're two donations away from our goal. We got a 10 from Black Starliner. We got one from Sucker Season LA. So we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. So we only got 2 contributions. So if you're in a position to do so, 2 $5 hollers will put us over. Okay. We're 2 hours in, but I don't really have anywhere to go until I still got about 30 more minutes before I have to start getting up to get ready to make a move. So we can talk about this. What's going on with the Breakfast Club? What's going on with the club? I don't know anything about it, so I have to kind of research with you guys. So Breakfast Club goes to Netflix. Okay. So I like using when we can use other people's content and shit. I like getting information and media from other content creators because that's really what the point is. So the video that I saw that was good was Anton Daniels. He had a great video on it. But I also like watching smaller channels when they cover this. All right, so they're saying it's a bad deal with Netflix. Let's listen to this Queen Sheba.
16 years of independent work. Made a mistake, which is why I posed the question. I put
Hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right. And this is definitely one of those things that have, I can't lie. This is definitely one of those things that have made me go, Now, you guys, listen, when you hear names like Netflix, just these huge media outlets, you think, yes, I would love to get on board. Absolutely. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Which is why I posed the question. I put a poll in the chat. A live poll is available right now. And my question to you is, do you think Charlemagne made a mistake by signing over exclusive rights to Netflix? Yes or no? So far, we have, how many votes? Over 40 votes, and 73% of you said, heck yeah, he made a mistake. 29% of you are saying, nope, it's just business. It's just business. Well, let me tell you something. Netflix, last year, December of 2025, Charlemagne the God, if you know anything about the Breakfast Club, he developed, design, the Breakfast Club. I think it was maybe 2010. So we're talking 16 years of independent work.
All right, so she's talking slow as frigate. Yeah. So basically, Charlemagne the God, he, like she said, he's been running the Breakfast Club for 16 years already. And so he decided that he was ready to, basically hand over the rights to the Breakfast Club. So the Netflix deal for the Breakfast Club, part of a massive $200 million iHeartMedia partnership that took effect in early 2026, has become a major point of contention. While it was a financial win, there are signs it's hurting the show's cultural footprint and connection to its core audience. Did iHeartMedia and Netflix make a deal? So I'm imagining that it wasn't really Charlemagne who was like, yeah, I want to hand this over to Netflix. Charlemagne is under the umbrella of iHeartMedia. And iHeartMedia made a deal with Netflix. I doubt that Charlemagne woke up one morning and was like, yo, I want to just sell the rights of my show to Netflix. I think Charlemagne had maybe some creative control and some control over his IP, is his intellectual property. But I think overall the final decision rests with iHeartMedia, or maybe Charlemagne had the option to separate from iHeartMedia and go his own way. I don't know the details of it, but basically they're saying that this is hurting the cultural footprint of the Breakfast Club, which means that it no longer appeals to the culture. The reality is most black folks probably don't even have Netflix. Black folks I know got Fire Stick. You know, they like, we gonna watch everything for free. Program this mofo. And Netflix, to me, is not really a big thing for the crowd that consumes the Breakfast Club. If you're between 20 and 40, you don't really watch Netflix. Netflix is for older people and kids, because a lot of this shit they got on there don't nobody even want to watch. I know Netflix to me is kind of like background noise. I don't really watch it. I rather watch Amazon Prime Video. That's what I like watching more. But in reality, you're trying to take an audience that is primarily listening to the Breakfast Club on the radio, and you're putting the Breakfast Club on a platform that is geared towards visuals. I mean, even if you look at running Netflix on your phone, the Netflix app on your phone is going to kill your battery in 2 hours or less. Whereas you can run YouTube all damn day. You can run Spotify, Pandora, you can run that all day and you're good. So I just don't think that it's easily accessible for the audience that they have, and it's not free. Netflix is not in any way free. Even for a package with ads, you have to pay like $7.99, and you're gonna see ads for one screen, I think. But YouTube, you could watch that free all day as long as you don't mind hearing ads in the middle, and that's what people are doing. People treat YouTube like the radio now. That's what they do. They say, I listen to YouTube at work. Plug my phone in, let YouTube play, and in one ear, I have the shows playing. So they're saying that this is like a golden cage problem. Critics and even the host themselves have suggested that the deal feels like a content prison. Here's how the move is affecting the show. They've lost their YouTube community. The exclusive terms of Netflix, the show has to scrub its long-form video presence from YouTube, where they had over 6 million subscribers, and Twitch. This removed the comment section culture that was vital for real-time fan engagement. Okay, so yeah, you can't comment anymore. And I remember when I watched a video from Maritime, a lot of people were like, man, I love being in the comments just talking trash. Everybody, when you watch YouTube, they kind of enjoy the ability to comment. So they're saying that that's gone. Now they're saying there's a host discontent. Hosts are not happy. In early March 2026, Jess Hilarious went viral for candidly admitting that the move has made fans feel neglected. She noted that the show's engagement and reach have taken a massive hit because people aren't willing to log into a paid streaming app just to watch a morning show they used to get for free. We were giving you this for free. Now we're charging you for it. And were you really getting it for free? No, because you had to listen to ads. If you're listening to ads, that you're basically paying. Now they're also saying there's something called the ghost town effect. Without the viral nature of YouTube clips, the show's ability to drive the daily news cycle has diminished. Many fans have complained that moving behind a paywall, which is Netflix subscription, destabilized the community they built over 15 years. They're also saying the algorithmic isolation. On YouTube, the show was constantly pushed to new viewers via the up next sidebar. On Netflix, it sits alongside movies and sitcoms, making it harder for casual listeners to discover the show unless they specifically search for it. Yeah, man, it's just a totally different crowd. Ain't nobody watching a movie trying to watch Charlemagne ass sit up there and talk shit about celebrities. They're going to the movie for entertainment. People are watching, listening to The Breakfast Club. It's like background noise. Yeah, I listen to that when I'm sitting at my job doing work. You can't, those crowds just don't mix. Unless Netflix is trying to launch some type of like audio streaming, like Spotify or Pandora, that would have been smart. But it just seems like this deal just killed The Breakfast Club. I mean, I ain't going to tell bro not to take his $200 million. But they should be working on another platform ASAP. Which I'm sure Charlemagne probably is. That's, man, you know what? People work at things. And I think all good things must come to an end. But, yeah, Breakfast Club, like Jakari said, it's been trash for a while. They tried to bring the females in there to kind of like bolster up the views and stuff. But Just Hilarious wasn't even a good fit. There was another girl that was on there. She was better than Just Hilarious, honestly. And I guess she wasn't a part of the deal. But I think Just Hilarious is seeing the writing on the wall. She's just kind of like, she's already planning comedy shows and everything. She ain't funny. But she's already started back up doing comedy shows and stuff. DJ Envy, bro is he paid. Bro got money for weeks. And Charlemagne, I mean, it's his baby at the end of the day, I believe. So he's good. He got a nice chunk of that $200 million. So guys, that's the way it is. That's why it's important when you listening to people, you got to find other alternatives. Don't just listen to one content source when you're on YouTube or whatever else. Mix it up. And then when one leaves, I'm going to be real with y'all. This is why I don't watch Netflix no more. Like, I don't watch, when Netflix canceled Travelers, and then they canceled, the show was called, what was that? The Colony. Once they canceled Travelers, Colony, and like two other shows that once Netflix canceled Travelers, Colony, and Marco Polo, I was done with Netflix. I got so tired of getting wrapped up in shows with Netflix, and then they just canceled the show. That's when I was through with them. That's when I was through. I think I had Netflix free through my phone plan. But I'd rather watch Disney Plus than Netflix. I'm not going to lie. I'd rather watch an old Disney movie than anything new on Netflix. I mess with Prime Video. But I don't even get into streaming service series anymore until they have several seasons. If they ain't got at least 5 seasons, thank you, Ghetto app. If they ain't got at least 5 seasons, I'm not touching it. Because you ain't about to get me hooked on your shit and then cancel after 1 season, 2 seasons. That pisses me off. Marco Polo was such a great show. And they just canceled it out of nowhere. Also, the same thing with BET with Being Mary Jane. Man, Gabrielle Union fine ass. Man, I could have watched her every day for the rest of my life. They just going to cancel the damn show all abrupt. Things that make you go, is stolen from Arsenio Hall. Man, people don't know about that shit. They don't care anymore. But, yeah, so Breakfast Club didn't seal their fate, I guess. But, you know, the beauty of it, it was theirs to seal, and it was their decision. That's one thing you could take away from it. It was their decision and they made it. They did, they did what was best for them. And Charlemagne is still going to be making money, getting paid to sit and just talk about stuff. That's awesome. All right, guys. So we got our last guy, Corey Holcomb. What the hell is wrong with Corey Holcomb, man? For that, Corey Holcomb is, man, he's collapsing, dude. So I don't know if you guys know about this. Corey Holcomb, a long time ago, had an altercation with a woman who he hit in front of a club, I believe in Los Angeles or something. This came out following a viral interview he had with our very own brother, Anton Daniels. And during, after that viral clip with Anton Daniels, after that viral interview, a lot of the ignorant folks in the black community really reared their head and just was ignorant. Oh, I'm with Corey and Corey was right. And everybody who has common sense, they know that Corey was wrong. He tried to come in adversarial, attacking Anton Daniels, telling me kissing white men's asses, all this type of just ignorant stuff that a lot of black people say to try to make you seem like they more black than you because maybe you're just in a better position than them. And Anton Daniels handled like a man. Corey tried to act like he wanted to fight Anton, which he didn't. I believe Anton, even though he's short, would have whooped Corey's ass handily. An old drunk. Ain't beating up nobody. But Corey played the tough guy role. And so Corey, with the support of his ignorant lemmings, he received his reward in full. He won the day, so to speak, because he won the conversation that broke out among the peanut gallery. But the internet is undefeated. And one thing that happens is if you feel you got a victory on the internet, somebody will find something that will turn that victory into an L. And that's exactly what happened here. This video came out just a couple days after the incident between Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels. And this shows Corey Holcomb, who's right here at the top of the screen, hitting this woman in a fur coat. Popped her right in her grill. Why you all in my grill? Right? And the black community, with our arbitrary nature, decided that this video of Corey Holcomb hitting this lady was enough to destroy his career. The black community that defends R. Kelly and still listens to his music and say they should have, the parents took the young girls to R. Kelly. For them, this right here is a deal breaker. Corey Holcomb hitting this lady. Don't know what was said, don't know what was done, but they show Corey hitting this lady. I don't think this lady pressed charges on Corey, none of that, but the internet, when I say they, I mean the internet, felt that this was enough for them to begin destroying Corey Holcomb. And I'm not going to say if they were wrong or if they were right, but that was actually crazy. So now Corey Holcomb's numbers are suffering big time. He used to have about, I think Flacco said he had about close to 20,000 people watching every live stream. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But now those numbers have been greatly reduced, and it's to the point where Corey is doing what you should never do when you're big and your numbers are dropping. He started addressing the numbers and accusing bots, saying that there's bots in the comments that are leaving negative comments about him, and just dismissing it while acknowledging that his numbers are dropping. And to me, it makes sense because he's so used to being popular and famous. But I want to play this Flacco video. I want to play this Flacco video I watched where Flacco gets down to the nitty gritty with the situation right here.
Something that's
This is the part of the video where Corey Holcomb starts talking about the views being down. Flacco getting skinny.
Ship was so low.
Man, we wish well to the people who come at us. Like right now, it's everybody used to us starting later. That's why the numbers climb. Where it's 9,400 in the chat now. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the haters will be like, "Yeah, they don't watch him no more. Look what somebody said bad."
Well, there was a super chat.
Desperate mother.
His viewership has dropped by about 40%. People are no longer tuning in. They came for a week or two to give him an opportunity to make amends for the nasty, nasty, nasty things he were exposed for saying, but he just never apologized.
Yeah, see, it wasn't just him hitting the lady. He was saying some crazy stuff about Anton Daniels. He brought up Anton Daniels' daughter and wife. It's just going below the belt. And it's not all Corey's fault in a sense, and I'm going to tell you why.
They gave him an opportunity to amends for hitting that woman in the face on camera. All he did was made excuse about how TMZ is out to get him and refused to address the actual video of him putting hands on that woman. People are just sick and tired of it. So Corey Holcomb, right, can no longer blame us because his excuse was, oh, y'all just chatting. My 5150 crew ain't going nowhere. Our numbers are still the highest. It's not the highest anymore. So now he panicking. Our criticism used to only be white noise that didn't mean nothing, and it wasn't reflective of his chat and his subscribers and his real supporters. But now his comment section is filled with detractors. Now his comment section is filled with people calling him out to do any and everything and say
for it.
Oh,
Backdooria.
Yeah.
The most hated Latinos spend whatever money at all costs to bring them down because ain't no Backdooria up here at show. Anyway, yo, man, this is funny. What was y'all telling me earlier? Because I already knew this anyway. I just didn't have a word for it.
Oh, just these bot sites, man. These bot attacks, you know.
But not just the sites. We were also reminding him that in chats, live chats, show
those
chats.
are night bots in the.
Man, listen, man. Corey's surrounded by some yes men as his host. The reality is Corey appeals to the most ignorant element within the black community. So now that he's being called out and like being held accountable for the things he said and the things he did, he's not used to it. But this is why I'll tell you, the same people who gonna lift you up, they'll tear you down. I even learned that on No Jumper, which they were always coming for me. But I learned that on No Jumper. These people could be the scum of the earth watching you. But the minute you do something where they feel like they can get a one-up on you, they're going to take advantage. Because I think when it comes to like content, many people watch people they hate because they want to feel like in some way, shape, or form, they're better than that person. I just witnessed this last night. I was watching Dean Withers, the little white boy. And he was talking to a white guy. White guy called up. The white guy was like, I hate you. I don't like you. You're a liar. You're a grifter. You're this, you're that, you know? And then like by the time they had been talking for like 2 or 3 minutes, this guy who called in saying he hated Dean Withers was like laughing and joking with him. Nah, man, I don't hate you. I love your show. I'm a supporter and all this stuff. And it was like, damn, that's crazy. Like this person literally hate watches Dean Withers, but he loves him. He loves him. It's like, and I promise you, when I was on No Jumper, I would have people curse me out. Brandon, you're fat. Your wife and your daughter, they're bitches. All types of crazy stuff. And soon as you respond to them, like, hey, yo, bro, chill. What the fuck? Oh, nah, Brandon, I was just playing, man. You know I love you, man. I just wanted you to respond. And I said, damn, people are really sick. People are really sick. And they'll say all types of crazy stuff just to get your attention. They will say all types of crazy stuff just to get you to acknowledge them for 2 seconds. This is a real thing. This is a real thing. They literally, yes, streets, they literally watch people they hate. And that's what's going on with Corey Holcomb. And if they hate watch you, they're kind of waiting for someone to come and tear you down. They're like waiting for someone to come and put you in your place. Another person who people hate watch, Adam22. His audience hates him. There are whole Reddit threads about how much they hate this dude, but they show up every day to watch. So Corey's experiencing that. That's why and this is one of the reasons, like, you can see my views are down. But if you go look at my video a couple of days ago where I just did a quick live stream about the shooting at the Maritime burger, we was over 100 people watching in 3 or 4 minutes. Boom, straight up. I know what to talk about to get people in here. That ain't nothing. I could get 100, 200, 300 every time. Right? Almighty Suspect just released a horrible rap video. I could have talked about that. It would have been 500 people in here. Easily. But I don't want to talk about that. Because whatever success I build in social media, on social media, I don't want it to be dependent on those kind of people. Because they'll do you like how they're doing Corey right now. They will tear your ass down in an instant. In an instant. The moment they see blood, the moment they see a sign of weakness. And look at Anton. Anton, he made some mistakes too. Fewer than Corey, I believe. But look at Anton. He's still booming. Because Anton built his audience with more like intelligent people with values, motivated, driven people who have values, who support, right? I always tell my daughter, and I used to tell my cousins and my nephews, man, anybody could be king of the nerds. Anybody could be a shining light to a bunch of people sitting in the dark. Ambition, come look to you for advice and direction. Or even if they just like listening to what you have to say because they feel like they connect with you and identify with you. That's when you really doing something. That's when you really doing something. And you can see Anton is growing and booming like he was, and Corey is going down. Just two different audiences. And that was the audience that Corey was trying to appeal to when he started coming at Anton with the, oh, you kissing a white man's ass. But one of the things I really think cost Corey a lot, was the shit where he start trying to call Anton out and quote unquote call himself exposing Anton for being up there with Mika, who's his personal assistant who knows his wife. His wife knows that he takes Mika when he travels. I mean, he got a lot of shit to do. I wish I had a personal assistant. Especially when you're doing content, you need somebody. Hey, I'm gonna go run and do this real quick. Can you like stay here on the computer or the laptop and do this and edit this video? Whatever. I get that. I totally understand that now. So like, that was some hoe shit right there. And I think that hurt Corey with a lot of his core fan base, which are men and they're red pill. Even I said, you don't pull no hoe move like that. Trying to expose a man. It don't matter who he came up there with. She didn't come up here for you, and she wasn't on camera, so that wasn't for nobody to know. See, but he tried to throw that out after the fact, after they parted ways and Anton went his way and Corey went his way. He tried, oh yeah, you was up here with a female. Like, bro, what you trying to do? You trying to like undermine my relationship? Bro, that was a whole move. And I think that right there was the thing that really cost this dude. I think that's what made a lot of people walk away from this fool. Because I know if I was a follower of his, which I'm not, that would have been when I was, at that moment, I would have been done with him. You trying to come at a black man in a way that jeopardizes and harms his family life? Hell no. You scum for shit like that. Ain't no excuses for stuff like that. Straight up. But yeah, Corey, we wish you the best, man, with your drunk ass. You always got the road, Corey. You always got the road. Guys, we're going to call it a day. We're going to call it, I'm going to post more videos, obviously. But we're going to wrap this up. We've been going hard for 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's always my pleasure to get with y'all. I don't know. We didn't reach our goal. If we would have reached our goal, I would have did another live tonight. I like doing 2 lives, especially when I'm home alone. I ain't got shit to do, really. Yeah, I would have did 2 lives. So if anybody wants to drop that final 2 super chats, we got it. They're going down because if he's only at 9,000 viewers, he was like at 15,000, right? So maybe his views will recover. Okay, so he's still getting 200K views per video. That's good. So let's see if it hurts him. But this is what everyone's saying. Corey Holcomb is going down. I don't really pay attention to Corey Holcomb, but I'm throwing more of the culture content in here, and I might splice it up and put it on a smaller clip. But yeah. So we gonna get out of here, man. Thank you. Thank all of y'all. Thank all of y'all. Everybody who tuned in. Everybody who contributed to the stream. What is he talking about? All gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. You trying to get another show? Y'all, hey, what y'all think? Give me some ones in the chat if y'all want to do another show this evening. We can make it a fun show. We talked about Iran today, all this stuff. I don't think we got to revisit that, but we could just talk about some stuff. I don't know what's going on. I'll look at something and we'll come up with something. But thank y'all for watching. I appreciate everything y'all do. Shout out to All Gas No Breaks for the $10 holler. Till the next time, take care of yourselves, but most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.